opportunity to host these games at your own ballpark. The Tar Heels are here. The fans have shown up. There's one thing left to do, and that's play ball.
And this is the best time of the year, Dave. Late May, early June, postseason baseball in Chapel Hill. Like you said, the fans here hoping to see a little more Bosch magic this weekend.
Carolina enters the tournament 42-12 overall, 18-11 out of the ACC, and champions of the ACC tournament last week, running past Boston College, Florida State, and triumphing over Clemson in the title game 14-4. Holy Cross emerged out of the Patriot League 31-25, 17-8 in league action, and these two teams get a second go-round at one another. The first meeting, the only other meeting, better than 100 years ago, 1918 was the year Holy Cross got the 18-1 win. I think it's safe to say a lot has changed over the last century and a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Amazing to think that they were even playing baseball that long ago. But, I mean, we've got two really good teams on our hands here. Carolina fans know what the Tar Heels have been capable of running through the ACC tournament, but Holy Cross is a really good team as well. And like you tell your players, if you're Coach Forbes, Holy Cross is here for a reason too, and you have to take these 4 seeds seriously. And we saw last year Carolina messed around a little bit and got itself in a sticky situation against Long Island.
Carolina wound up beating Long Island and getting past LSU in an elimination game to get to the Supers last year, a sweep of West Virginia, and a spot in Omaha. That's how Carolina's 36th appearance in the NCAA tournament went. This is the Tar Heels' 37th appearance and 8th consecutive. That's best in the ACC. Ben, this is a program led by Coach Fox for so many years that's now been passed along to Coach Forbes, who in his 5th year hasn't missed a tournament and really hasn't missed a chance to put Carolina on the map time and again.
Yeah, we heard in the press conferences this week that the players are talking about not a new standard, but getting used to the fact that this is the standard for Carolina, and they expect to be playing at home this time of year, hosting a regional, and that the ultimate goal is to get to Omaha and then see what happens there and see if they can go on and play for a national championship.
Carolina's 13-2 in its last 15 home regional games dating back to 2018. In total, the Tar Heels 121-81 in the NCAA tournament, taking on a team at Holy Cross led by Ed Kahovic in his 6th year at the helm. Holy Cross has played just 41 total NCAA tournament games through the years. Holy Cross, though, has won a College World Series. 1952 was when the Crusaders took it all. They've been to Omaha 4 times. Their last appearance was 1963. So this is a program with some history, with some tradition, but with a new crop of kids this year trying to shock the country here in the event's first game.
Yeah, and Holy Cross really dominated the Patriot League. They won the Patriot League regular season at 17-8. Obviously won the tournament as well to get into the big dance. But you look at the awards, too. The Player of the Year in C.J. Egri and the Pitcher of the Year in Jaden Waiwota, who we won't see today.
We will see the Pitcher of the Year in the ACC, Jake Knapp, 12-0, a 2.17 ERA. Opponents hitting 188 off the 6'5", 270-pound graduate righty out of Greensboro. Knapp missed last year's postseason run because of the elbow reconstruction. He has pitched in the NCAA tournament before, though. The year was 2023. The city was Terre Haute. The opponent was Iowa. Knapp took his last loss in that game 728 days ago. Today, he has a chance to put Carolina in the winner's bracket.
And just to put into perspective, I guess, how rare this is that the same guy is starting 2 different regional openers for the Tar Heels. Hasn't been done since Matt Harvey did it in 2008 to 2010.
So Knapp putting himself in some pretty good company once again. The win total, number 1 in the ACC, number 2 in the country. The ERA, best in the ACC, top 10 in the country. He's thrown more innings than anybody else in the ACC this year, en route to winning the 5th ever ACC Pitcher of the Year by a Tar Heel, following the likes of Andrew Miller in 2006, Alex White in 2008, Kent Emanuel in 2013, and J.B. Bukowskis in 2017. The lineup for Holy Cross looks like this. C.J. Egri to lead off and play in right field. John LaFleur, the left fielder, hits second. Chris Balarjian, the first baseman, hits third, followed by Johnny Royer, the cleanup hitter. Jimmy King hits fifth and plays shortstop. Sean Scanlon's the DH. He hits sixth. The bottom third of the order, Connor Peak, who plays third base. Brendan Jones, who's at second. And the catcher, Colin Brown. The Tar Heels adorned in their white home uniforms with Carolina blue lettering and numerals. Carolina blue ball caps with the white interlocking NC on the front. Holy Cross in the purple tops. White lettering, gray pants, and the dark helmets as Egri stands in for the right side against Jake Knapp. It's a righty-righty matchup to get things started, and here we go. First pitch fastball right down the middle and a called strike. 0-1 to Egri at 12:07. That's your official Reed's Jewelers first pitch time. Reed's Jewelers, trusted with life's moments. Here's the second pitch from Knapp. Fastball. A bit outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. The count to Egri, a .311 hitter, 5 homers, 28 RBIs in his junior season. The 1-1. Ping foul, and Egri falls behind 1-2. Egri has the dark sleeve poking out from underneath his right arm. He's got the guard on his left arm. Warm day today in Chapel Hill, 73 degrees with a little bit of cloud cover. Of course, our temperature always brought to you by B&T Heating and Air Conditioning, family owned and doing it right the first time every time. As Knapp heaves a 96-mile-per-hour fastball wide, the count 2 balls and 2 strikes to Holy Cross's C.J. Egri.
And this is what Knapp likes to do early in his starts is go fastball, fastball, fastball. He's thrown 4 fastballs to Egri so far. Won't show the slider until maybe a couple batters in.
Here's the 2-2 as Knapp nods in approval of the sign. Fastball scorched foul off to the right. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes. The count to Egri. Brian DeBrouwer calling the balls and strikes behind the plate. Connor Hoagland down the line at first. The second base umpire, Jeff Wright, positioned in center field. The third base ump is Joe Harris. Knapp's 2-2. Came inside and check swing. As that ball rode a little high and tight, keeps the count to 2-2 to Egri. The ball rolled past the first base coach's box and is tossed into the visiting dugout, first base side. Carolina in their customary dugout behind the third base line as fans continue to find their seats in Boshamer Stadium. Knapp's next 2-2. High and not by much. 3 balls and 2 strikes as Egri has worked the count full to Knapp, who's barely walked anybody all year. Just 13 free passes up against 78 strikeouts for Knapp, whose payoff pitch is on the way. Flung foul. I was riding in on the hands, and Knapp continues to sit 95-96 on the radar gun. Tells you all you need to know about where his emotions are.
And he still hasn't thrown a slider yet. It is a good slider, very capable out pitch for Jake Knapp. Just doesn't like to go to it too early in games.
The next payoff pitch from Knapp to Egri. Inside, and he lost him. Egri battled, and he gets the walk. That's Knapp's first free pass issued in 27 1/3 innings. The last time he walked somebody, it was April 25th at Pittsburgh. So that paints the picture of how rare a walk is issued by Knapp, but Egri earns one here to begin the game. No score in the top of the first. John LaFleur next up from the left side. First pitch, swiped foul, and it's 0-1. A fresh set of baseballs already brought out from the Carolina dugout to our home plate umpire as Egri resides at first base, held aboard by Stokely. Jackson Vanderbrake, the second baseman. Alex Madera, the shortstop. It's Gavin Gallagher at the hot corner, even with the bag. The 0-1. Swinging a foul ball back to the screen makes it 0-2. Luke Stevenson catching today for the Tar Heels with Carter Frentz positioned in left field. The center fielder is Kane Kepley. Out in right field, it's Tyson Bass. The lights have popped on here just afternoon. There is, again, some heavy cloud cover overhead, but blue sky way off in the distance. Knapp from out of the stretch comes set. The 0-2 pitch. Instead of throw over to first base, Egri back in plenty of time. And that's a guy that you have to watch on the base paths. He's 35 for 43 in steals this year. That stolen base number, best in the Patriot League, 21st in the entire country. The 0-2. Flip foul once again by LaFleur. Holy Cross seeing a lot of pitches from Jake Knapp early in today's game. Again, we're in the top of the first, no score. Egri at first after taking the leadoff walk. The count to LaFleur remains no balls and 2 strikes.
And a lot of foul balls. You wonder when Knapp will go to that off speed.
The 0-2. Stuck with the fastball outside of the left-handed hitter. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Barely a breeze, tussling the 3 flags atop the batter's eye in center. Knapp's got the sign as he comes set from the first base side of the rubber. 1-2. Fastball. Got him swinging. And there's the first out of the game. LaFleur goes down. It's the 79th strikeout on the season for Big Jake. 1 down. And Belargian next up to the plate with Egri at first and no score in the top of 1.
Talked about Egri being the player of the year. Belargian's hitting .386 this year for Holy Cross, an OBP of .502. Gets on base more than half the time.
Knapp remains in the stretch with Belargian at the plate from the right side. Takes a strike. Snap throw down to first by Stevenson. Egri dives back in behind the tag of Stokely. 0-1 the count to Belargian. That average best in the Patriot League and top 40 in the country. 3 homers and team best 52 RBIs for Belargian. The 0-1. Fastball rides right over the black outer half. And Knapp out in front, no balls and 2 strikes to Belargian. Egri took a leadoff walk. LaFleur struck out. No score in the top of the first. Carolina and Holy Cross meeting in the NCAA tournament. Heels defense plays Belargian straight up. The 0-2. Fastball wide, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Knapp has yet to go to that slider. And you wonder if he thinks he can just beat Holy Cross with fastballs.
The 1-2 in an all-righty affair. Lifted over our heads and foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count to Belargian. There was some question as to whether or not the early first pitch would keep some fans away today. While it's not a complete sellout at game time, if capacity's 4,100, I say we're sitting close to 2,500, 3,000 fans already. Next pitch. There's your off-speed stuff, and there's strike 3. Down goes Belargian with a swing and a miss. Consecutive Ks for Knapp. And Royer next up to the plate with Egri still over at first. And no score in the top of the first. Carolina and Holy Cross in the Chapel Hill Regional.
You have to be really impressed with Jake Knapp's patience. He knows he has a wipeout slider in his back pocket, but elected not to use it until then to get Belargian.
Here's Royer from the right side. Takes a fastball just off the plate. A ball and no strikes, the cleanup hitter. Royer's average sits at .318. 3 homers, 40 RBIs for the sophomore out of Lake Bluff, Illinois. The 1-0. Elevated fastball, untouchable by Royer. 1 ball and 1 strike. Carolina with a mini shift. Gallagher and Madera still on the left side of the infield. Vanderbrake plays almost behind second. Stokely holds the runner Egri, who takes off. Pitch knocked foul, and it's a ball and 2 strikes to Royer.
Egri got an excellent jump there. I don't think Knapp looked back at him at all, and that's something as a base runner that you're looking at for patterns to see if the pitcher is looking back, and also keeping a mental clock in your head as to how long he's taken to get to the plate.
Egri had drawn some attention, but that was the first time he took off. So he's back over at first with the 1-2 pitch on the way from Knapp to Royer. Inning over. A high fastball gets Royer swinging. And after the inauspicious beginning to the inning with a walk to Egri, LaFleur, Belargian, and Royer go down on strikes, and we go to the home half of the first. The Tar Heels to the plate, Holy Cross to the field. No score in Chapel Hill. This is Chapel Hill Regional Baseball from Learfield.
Touchdown! On game day, there's nothing like tailgating, touchdowns, and Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Twisted Tea goes down smooth and tastes like real iced tea because it's made with real brewed tea. Cool, refreshing, and a 5% kick of alcohol. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Look for the bright yellow cans wherever you buy beer. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Hey Tar Heel fans, this is Dave Nathan, here to remind you that revenue generated from the sale of officially licensed Tar Heel merchandise directly supports both need and merit-based scholarships for Carolina students. Next time you're shopping for your favorite Tar Heel gear, make sure to look for the officially licensed collegiate product label before you buy. This ensures the product has been approved by the university. Be blue and true, buy licensed, fund scholarships, and go Heels.
Dave Nathan and Ben Mihalovich welcoming you back to Chapel Hill for the NCAA tournament. Carolina at home on Bryson Field, hosting Holy Cross. The Crusaders go scoreless in the top of the first. The Tar Heels come to the plate with Kane Kepley, Jackson Vanderbrake, and Luke Stevenson. The middle third of the order, Gavin Gallagher, Hunter Stokely, and Alex Madera. The bottom third, Tyson Bass, Sam Angelo hitting eighth and DHing, and the left fielder, Carter French. That is today's starting lineup, presented as always by Coors Light, Mountain Cold Refreshment, Choose Chill, and official beer of your North Carolina Tar Heels. Celebrate responsibly. Danny Macchiarola gets the start on the mound for Holy Cross. 6'2", 180-pound junior righty out of Garden City, New York. He's won 9 ball games this year, most in the Patriot League. Complete record 9-4. Number 1 ERA in the Patriot League at 3.02. And he's thrown 89 in the third innings, also tops in the conference. Opponents hitting .221 off of Macchiarola.
Yeah, and the reason those numbers are so good is because he has, and I'm not exaggerating here, the best slider I've ever seen. It's his go-to pitch. It's his favorite pitch to use. You can see him use it early in counts and late in counts. It has unbelievable break on it. Also mixes in a cutter and a changeup, but watch out for that slider today. He's not the pitcher of the year. He might not be the ace of this Holy Cross staff, but because of what that slider can do, can really throw off Carolina hitters.
It's interesting. Jaden Waiwota might have put up better numbers this year. He's being held till tomorrow. Oklahoma seems to want to hold its ace until tomorrow as well. Carolina, I think you could say, has 2 number 1 guys, and we'll see what Nebraska opts to do. So here's Kepley to lead off from the left side, and he takes a strike over the inside corner. 94-mile-per-hour fastball makes it 0-1 to the .293 hitter. Kepley's homered twice this year, driven in 29. Macchiarola from the stretch delivers another strike at the knees, and it's 0-2. So there was the garden variety fastball to begin. That was the cutter touching at 89, and Kepley in a 0-2 hole with no score in the bottom of the first. The pitch outside, a ball and 2 strikes to the Liberty transfer. Holy Cross plays Kane straight up. There's a big swath of real estate open up the middle. Second baseman and shortstop playing well wide of the bag. Here's the 1-2 from the righty to the lefty. Low and away, 2 balls and 2 strikes as some of that cloud cover from earlier is broken up and the sun beams down on the field. It's as bright as it's been all day as we creep towards 12:30 on a Friday afternoon in Chapel Hill. The 2-2. Off speed, grounded the other way to third. Pete gets to it on a knee. Low throw to first base. Balargian digs it out of the dirt, and Kepley retired 5-3 for the first out in the bottom of 1. Tricky play for Holy Cross to make. Balargian did well to dig it, and Kepley retired, which brings Jackson Vanderbrake to the plate in the bottom of 1. No score between Carolina and Holy Cross. Vanderbrake's totals this year a .314 average, 6 homers, 52 RBIs. The pitch outside as he went to that slider. A ball and no strikes to the third-year Tar Heel, Jackson Vanderbrake.
That's one of those where he starts it at Vanderbrake and it still falls outside of the zone.
The 1-0. Went back to it, this time clipped the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike to the Tar Heels second baseman.
If you're going to hit that slider, it has to be the other way for the righty Vanderbrake. If he looks to pull it, it'll be a ground out.
Macchiarola's next offering induces a swing and a miss. A ball and 2 strikes to Vanderbrake, who steps out, adjusts the gloves. He's got that Carolina blue sleeve coming out of his right arm. Sleeveless on the front arm as he stands in from the right side. The 1-2 from Maciarola to Vanderbrake. Outside, there's the fastball. 2-2.
What makes Maciarola so good is this mix of pitches. You might not see all game the same pitch twice in a row.
Next offering. Drifts outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Vanderbrake. Luke Stevenson on deck. Kepley already retired. Bases clear in the bottom of the first. It's Holy Cross nothing and Carolina nothing in the Chapel Hill Regionals first game. Oklahoma and Nebraska to come later on this afternoon. Maciarola from out of the stretch, third base side, deals the payoff pitch. Vanderbrake lifts it softly to shallow right. Egri got a late jump, comes in, loses his ball cap, stares up into the sun, and makes the catch for the second out of the frame. Vanderbrake battled him, but flies out to right, and that brings Luke Stevenson to the plate with 2 away and nobody on in a scoreless game. Holy Cross trying to make quick work at Carolina.
Big for Holy Cross to try and calm the Carolina bats early. Don't let Carolina get off to a hot start because Holy Cross does not want to try and play catch-up with this Tar Heel team.
Initial offering to Stevenson, a lefty, outside, a ball and no strikes. This is best on best here. Maciarola on the mound, Stevenson at the plate. 268 hitter with 18 homers, 52 RBIs. Next pitch, bounce towards the right side, but foul as the first baseman Belargian cuts in front of Coach Jackson to toss it into the visiting dugout. With Belargian at first, Brendan Jones starts at second. The shortstop is Jimmy King. Connor Peak at the hot corner. Colin Brown behind the plate. The outfield from left to right, John LaFleur, Johnny Royer, and C.J. Egri. A ball and a strike to count to Stevenson. The pitch, socked high, left side, and foul. Fans give it a glance, but it's over the bleachers and past the seats, out of play. 1-2 to Carolina's backstop. The shift is on with Jones, the second baseman, about 10 paces back on the outfield grass. The shortstop, King, still plays on the left side of the bag as Maciarola comes set and delivers. Stevenson wiggles it foul on the ground over the Argyle strip, right side, still 1-2 to Stevenson. Kepley grounded to third. Vanderbrake flying to right. Nobody on in the bottom of the first. Again, 0-0 between the Crusaders and Tar Heels. A festive atmosphere for college baseball, to say the least. The next 1-2. Arrives high, went with the fastball, and the count's even at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
It looks like Maciarola is trying to use his off-speed pitches to set up his fastball, give him slop in the mid to low 80s, and then go with the fastball at 94 to throw off the hitter.
The 2-2. Stevenson bounces towards first, but foul. This time Coach Jackson makes the play and tosses across the diamond towards the Heels dugout.
At least we hope that was a toss to the Heels dugout and not Maciarola.
Coach Jackson has his hands on his hips. Coach Forbes across the way at third, clapping his hands. Longtime stewards of Carolina baseball. The 2-2. Stevenson wallops that high down the line, but foul. Over the bullpen into the construction area. It's a standing room only crowd that way, and that turns into a souvenir. Maybe a message sent from Stevenson to Maciarola.
Stevenson went yard a couple times in the ACC tournament, en route to winning ACC tournament MVP.
You got to take your hat off to a guy that goes 0 for 4 in the ACC title game and still wins MVP. The 2-2 again. Stevenson straightens it out and hammers a fly ball to right. Egri comes in. Again, lost his cap but makes the play. He was playing way back, had a lot of ground to cover. But the fly ball goes to die in Egri's glove, and the Tar Heels retired 1-2-3 in the first. We go to the second. It's Jimmy King, Sean Scanlon, and Connor Peak to see Jake Knapp. It's scoreless in Chapel Hill between Carolina and Holy Cross. from Learfield.
At Reed's Jewelers, we know that the rules of engagement were made to be broken. So don't settle for the first ring you see in the case. When you put a ring on it, make the moment your own with something that's just as unique as your love. Whether you're going big, keeping it subtle, or finding a happy medium, we're here to help you say I do with a one-of-a-kind design. Because doing things your way is what makes them mean everything. Reed's Jewelers, an official partner of Tar Heel Sports. Visit your local Reed's Jewelers in-store or online at reeds.com to chat with an expert.
Quality, affordable, dependable. The characteristics that have built the foundation for B&T Heating and Air Conditioning since opening its doors in 1988. B&T Heating and Air Conditioning is proud to serve communities across the Raleigh-Durham area from right here in Chapel Hill to anywhere in between. To schedule your heating, whole house generator, or electrical service or tune-up, visit their website at bntheatingandair.com. B&T Heating and Air Conditioning, generators and electrical. Family owned and doing it right the first time, every time.
Carolina home runs are presented by Lowe's Foods, supporting home plate since 1954. Visit your local Lowe's Foods to find a different type of grocery store worthy of their Carolina roots. The Tar Heels rooted here at home in the Chapel Hill Regional. Holy Cross the opponent. We go to the second with no score. Jake Knapp walked C.J. Egri to begin the game, then struck out LaFleur, Belargian, and Royer to get out of the first. Carolina had Kepley ground out, Vanderbrake and Stevenson both flied out. You would expect pitching and defense to be the story of the day, and at least to this point, Ben, we're still early. Things have gone according to script.
Yeah, absolutely. This wasn't going to be a game where Carolina would just come in, mash a couple homers, and win easily. The Tar Heels are going to have to grind this one out. Nothing the Heels aren't used to. And, you know, when you have a defensive battle, it's good to have the defense that Carolina has and a guy like Jake Knapp on the mound.
Knapp's first pitch of the second. Big bouncer over Gallagher at third. And Jimmy King reaches with a wide turnaround first on a single to left. Tough break there for Carolina. Gallagher wasn't playing totally in, but he wasn't back either. And the chopper beats him for the game's first base hit. King aboard at first. Scanlon at the plate. No score between Carolina and Holy Cross in the top half of the second inning. King, a .335 hitter, leads the team with 19 doubles, a lonely homer, 41 ribbies. Knapp back to the stretch. The pitch. Swiped foul. 0-1 the count to Scanlon.
Scanlon was the preseason Patriot League Player of the Year, but didn't wind up on any team after the season was done with.
The 0-1. High fly to left center. French calls off Kepley, extends his arms, reaches up, makes the catch. First out in the second inning. King still planted at first base with no score. Connor Peak next up to the dish. It was something Coach Forbes was asked about yesterday at the press conference. While Carolina hasn't made its name this year on the mound in striking out hitters, because of the velocity of the guys on the mound, they induce a ton of fly balls like that.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's why it's important to have three excellent outfielders, which the Tar Heels do.
Peak, first pitch, liner to Vanderbrake, catches it, throws it, inning over. 4-3 on the double play, and Carolina gets off the field just like that. Peak lines to second. King was off the bag. Vanderbrake threw him out. And Carolina, in almost no time, right back to the plate in the bottom of the second.
That's that defense we talk about, Dave. It comes from all over the field, not just the outfield.
No runs, one hit, no errors, and nobody left thanks to Carolina's 32nd double play turned on the year. It's Gallagher, Stokely, and Madera to hit in the bottom half of the second. Still looking for runs on a Friday afternoon. It's Carolina baseball from Learfield.
You'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never, ever become a minivan mom. So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, know it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
August was born 3 pounds, 9.8 ounces. When I first saw him, it was a whole range of emotions. There's stuff I still want to do. Being a young dad, it's not giving up. It's shifting. I looked through his eyes. I can envision a whole future with him already. To throw the first football to him, give him ice cream for the first time. My life is now devoted to his life.
Through all of fatherhood's firsts, never stop being a dad. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
This copyrighted broadcast is an exclusive presentation of Learfield under the broadcast rights granted by the University of North Carolina. Reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the expressed written consent of the University of North Carolina and Learfield.
If you're looking to refresh your Carolina gear, I've got just the place for you. It's the new Tar Heel team store located at 120 East Franklin Street. Mention the code Carolina Baseball and receive 10% off your purchase. Exclusions apply. We start the bottom half of the second with no score. Maciarola's first pitch, the righty Gavin Gallagher outside, and it's 1-0 to the Tar Heel sophomore. Gallagher hits .288, 14 homers, and a team-best 55 RBIs. Second pitch, changeup, wide, and it's 2-0 to Gallagher.
Gallagher's really been the spark plug for the second half of this Carolina baseball season. Ever since the calendar turned to April, and especially in May, he has been mashing baseballs as well as anyone in the country.
The 2-0. Fastball rides inside, 3-0 to Gallagher.
See there, Gallagher jumped back off the plate a little bit on the fastball. It shows a little surprised to see Maciarola use the fastball there.
And he lost him on 4 consecutive. Gallagher takes an inside fastball and heads down to first base. Carolina's first base runner in the bottom of the second with no score. Maciarola walks his 27th on the season. Up against those 91 strikeouts inside the top 50 in the country in Ks. Although Holy Cross hasn't seen a bunch of competition like Carolina, Holy Cross 8 games this year against tournament-type foes. Played Auburn earlier this year, beat the Tigers. Stokely next up at the plate takes a pitch outside, and it's 1-0. A little more recently played Columbia in a couple of games that Holy Cross lost 8-4 and 13-10 before coming to Chapel Hill. The 1-0. Instead of throw over to first, Gallagher is back in time. And that Columbia series, it came together after the Patriot League tournament just to get those teams a little bit more experience against the kind of squads they'd be facing this week. A good thing, I think, for college baseball. The 1-0. Off speed and outside of the lefty Stokely, who creeps out ahead of Maciarola, 2-0.
This is a sneaky, very dangerous part of the Carolina lineup. At 5, 6, and 7, Stokely hitting .327, Madera .332.
There's a strike that runs over the outside corner. Didn't go to the fastball there. That was the slider. And it's 2-1 to Stokely with Gallagher at first and no score in the second. Carolina and Holy Cross in the Chapel Hill Regional.
And then even after Stokely and Madera, Bass just a hair under 300 and a lot of power.
2-1. Stokely tried to flash the power, but instead just nicked the ball foul at the plate. 2-2 to the Carolina first baseman, who bats .327. Team leading 70 hits. 13 of those have been home runs, and like Gallagher, sitting on 55 RBIs. The 2-2 from Maciarola to Stokely. There's another throw to first base, and Gallagher dives back in. Gavin's not a huge threat to steal, just 3 for 5 this year in that department, but Carolina collectively has stolen 83 bases, good for third most in the ACC. As Stokely swipes a line drive to left, LaFleur creeps in to left center to make the catch, and Gallagher stays put at first on the flyout by Stokely. It's one of those things, Ben, you can make great contact like that and just simply hit it right on the barrel, right towards an outfielder. And there's one down. Madera next up to the plate for Carolina with no score in the second.
And I've noticed LaFleur as well has been playing particularly deep. I wonder if he's able to catch that ball, if he has to run back on it as opposed to coming in.
First pitch fastball to Madera on the outer half. 0-1 to the heel shortstop. Another lefty at the plate. Top of the table on average at .332 for the Tar Heels this year. The 0-1 tried to eat away at the outside corner to Maciarola with the slider, but missed. 1-1. Madera, a couple of home runs this year. He's driven in 32. Gallagher led off the inning with a 4-pitch walk. Stokely just flied to left. The 1-1. Madera slugs a fly ball to right center. Egri on the run makes the catch. Every time he's caught a ball, he's lost his cap in the process. And he plays a mean right field. I don't think any of those fly balls have been easy for him to get to. But he's made every play, and that's 2 Tar Heels down in the second. No score between the Heels and Holy Cross Crusaders in the NCAA tournament. Tyson Bass hit next for Coach Forbes' team.
Doesn't look like Egri has particularly long hair or big hair that would make his hat fall off. Maybe he's just that fast.
First pitch to Bass. Big swing. Line drive. Deep to left. And just left of the pole, foul. That was a 92-mile-per-hour fastball that Bass drilled foul down the line where it reads 335. He waits a hair later on that. Carolina's got the game's first runs. Instead, just a long strike. Score still 0-0 in the bottom of 2.
And for as much as Tyson Bass struck out during the ACC tournament, he's shown flashes of that type of power hitting. He did hit a home run in the championship game against Clemson.
0-1 slider, nubbed foul, and it's 0-2 to Bass. His weekend in Durham last week, 3 for 11, 5 runs, 3 RBIs, a double against Florida State, and Ben, you said it, the home run against Clemson. As Mac Urola whips a throwback over to first, and Gallagher on his stomach over there in time as Belargian holds him. Holy Cross 0, Carolina 0 in the bottom of the second with 2 down and a runner aboard. Next pitch, slow bouncer over to third base, hoovered up by Peak. The throw to second gets Gallagher on the 5-4 fielder's choice. And that wraps up Carolina's half of the second inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. Runner left stranded. On to the third we go. It's the 8, 9, and 1 spots due up for Holy Cross. Jones, Brown, and Egri were scoreless from Learfield.
You sit in traffic now, but later, there's an ice-cold reward. Modelo, the mark of a fighter. You've earned this rich golden lager with a crisp, refreshing taste. Because you know, all your patience is paid out in gold. You remain calm through honks, bumper to bumper, and people yelling. Come on, move! You are a fighter, and Modelo is your reward. Modelo, the mark of a fighter. Drink responsibly. Beer imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
Hello, I'm Ben Cochran, managing partner at Hardison & Cochran, attorneys at law. My firm helps good people in North Carolina who have unfortunately had their life turned upside down due to an injury. We help our clients by telling their story and leveling the playing field against opponents who have an army of lawyers fighting to diminish or outright deny their claim. We're ready to help. All you have to do is reach out.
Hardison & Cochran, North Carolina personal injury attorneys, 919-all-4s.
Carolina Baseball is presented all season long by Hardison & Cochran. Injured and have legal questions? Call Hardison & Cochran, 919-all-4s.
This afternoon's broadcast is also presented by Allen Tate Realtors. Whether you're buying, selling, or staying in your current home, Allen Tate can help. Get a home physical scheduled today. Allen Tate Realtors is the #1 real estate company in the Carolinas and a proud partner of Carolina Athletics. Dave Nathan and Ben Mihalovich, your proud broadcasters of Carolina Baseball on this Friday. As Carolina and Holy Cross go to the top of the third, we're looking for runs in the Chapel Hill Regional. Jake Knapp on the mound for Carolina. Brendan Jones at the plate from the left side for Holy Cross. Innings first pitch, a fastball right down Franklin Street. And it's 0-1 to Jones. 235 hitter, 3 long balls, 27 RBIs. The 0-1. Some more heat, that's in tight. 1-1 to the second baseman.
91 and 92 there from Knapp. A little bit of a dip from the 95 he was throwing in the first inning.
1-1. That's up to 93. Popped up left side. Madera racing between French and Gallagher in foul territory. He's got it. What a play by Madera. All sorts of ground to run through. He cut behind Gallagher in front of French. And the Brooks Wallace Award semifinalist makes the sure-handed play. There's 1 up and 1 down in the third for Holy Cross. 0-0 our score with Colin Brown due up next for the Crusaders.
He's a big Eagles fan. He looked more like A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith out there tracking down a deep throw from Jalen Hurts.
First pitch to Brown. Fastball outside. I was more a fan of former Tar Heel Nay Brown during his days with the Philadelphia Eagles. The 1-0. Rocked foul, and it's 1-1. You know, Nay was a heck of a baseball player back in his Reidsville days. Follows this program, has been a big addition to our football coverage in the fall. The 1-1. Inside of the righty Brown. 2 balls and a strike to the sophomore. Bats .271. 1 homer on the year. 10 driven in, just his 17th start, making his 19th appearance behind the plate. The 2-1. Fly to center. Kepley barely has to move. And there's the second out of the inning. So after the single by King back in the second, Scanlon flied out. Peak hit into the double play. Jones fouls out to short, and Brown flies to center. Feels like Knapp is right back in his wheelhouse. With no score in the third, Egri back to the plate. He took a walk when the game began. Initial offering. Fastball pops outside. 1-0 to Egri.
I'm seeing now Egri's, the front of his toes are on that white line right next to home plate. He is all over the dish.
1-0. Swinging a fly ball to right center. Kepley in front of Bass, who pulls up, makes the play, and the inning is over. Consecutive flyouts to Kane Kepley in center field. Result in a quick top half of the third for Holy Cross at the plate. And the Tar Heels will get their swings in the bottom of 3 with Angelo, French, and Kepley. The 8, 9, and 1 spots due up for Carolina. It is still 0-0 between the Holy Cross Crusaders and the Diamond Heels in the NCAA tournament. It's Tar Heel baseball from Learfield.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Carolina Baseball Grounds Crew is presented by Brown Brothers Plumbing and Heating, serving the community since 1933. Our family is here to keep your family comfortable. Count on the team that the Tar Heels trust with Brown Brothers Plumbing and Heating. No score between Carolina and Holy Cross, and just a word on the Grounds Crew. They have done a fabulous job in getting this field ready for play after the Tar Heels spent last weekend in Durham, the weekend prior to that in Tallahassee. It's been a while since Carolina's been on Bryson Field as the first pitch to the DH, Angelo, sets in the zone and is taken for a strike, 0-1. Angelo, a lefty, facing off against the righty, Macchiarola.
It's been a while since we've seen Angelo, too.
Ball downstairs makes it 1-1. Sam this year only hits .218, 2 homers, 11 RBIs. The 1-1. Swinging a ground ball right side. The second baseman, Jones, lays out, and he makes the play. Standing up and throwing to first to retire Angelo 4-3. Been some big-time defensive plays made by Holy Cross already. Carolina has mustered just a walk against Macchiarola and no hits through 2 1/3. Here comes Carter French, the Heels left fielder, trying to change that in a scoreless game. Third baseman Peak creeps in on the infield grass. First pitch, slider outside, and it's 1-0 to the Tampa product. French's average at 240. Only heel in the lineup without a home run, 10 driven in. The 1-0. Wide, 2 balls and no strikes. French has started every game in left field since April the 11th against Wake Forest. There was the injury to Sawyer Black, some defensive issues that needed to be addressed, and French has checked every box since he's come into the lineup as he takes a strike to make it 2-1.
And players and coaches alike have talked about the stability that he's provided not only in the lineup but in left field as well, and everyone defensively feels really comfortable with him out there.
The 2-1, hot shot to second, but another line out as Jones makes a shoestring catch for the second out of the inning. So early it was fly balls to right field. Here later it's been all sorts of activity on the right side of the infield with Angelo grounding out and French lining out. We're back to the top of the order, and Kane Kepley. Holy Cross nothing, Carolina nothing. In the bottom of 3, wind begins to blow in from center. Some cloud cover overhead, some slivers of blue. The first pitch outside of the lefty, and it's 1-0.
Talked about it earlier off the air, Dave, but Carolina's been taking really good hacks and has hit a couple balls that could argue could have been hits, just haven't fallen today.
Maciarola stays away from Kepley on a changeup. It's 2-0 to the center fielder, who's 0 for 1. He grounded a third back in the first. We play on in the third with no score. The 2-0. Another off-speed pitch that's wide of its intended target. 3-0 to Kane Kepley. Vanderbrake would be next if the inning continues. If not, we go to the 4th, and Holy Cross would hit. The 3-0, a high fastball, and Kepley takes a 4-pitch walk. The second walk issued by Maciarola. They've both been 4-pitch bases on balls after Gallagher took one to lead off the second. Kepley receives one with 2 down in the third. And with Robert Plant and the boys wailing in the background, here comes Jackson Vanderbrake to hit.
And this is a smart mound meeting by the catcher Colin Brown right here just to settle Maciarola down. He understands that Carolina's a team you really have to work to get all 3 outs every inning, and a small error like that to put a guy like Kepley on base who has 38 stolen bags this year, all of a sudden a stolen base and a single, and Carolina can find a run.
That's a thing. For as much as your focus for Maciarola should be on your man at the plate here, Jackson Vanderbrake, you want to keep Kepley honest at first. The pitch. Vanderbrake takes a slider at the knees for a called strike. 0-1 to Vandy, who flied out to right in his earlier AB. We continue to play on in the bottom of the third. No score between Holy Cross and Carolina. Maciarola spins and throws to first. Kepley back in plenty of time.
He's got a solid move over to first, does Maciarola. Had Gallagher on his toes a couple times back in the second.
The 0-1 to Vanderbrake. Instead of second, throw to first. Kepley's second in the ACC in steals this year. 13th in the country. 5th all-time in a single season at Carolina. He's chasing Chad Holbrook for 4th place. Chad stole 40 back in 1993. There he goes. Pitch the plate. Outside. Throw down to second. It's high, and Kepley is in there with his 39th steal of the season. And the scenario, Ben, that you played out before Vanderbrake came to the plate, it is very much in play with Kepley in scoring position, and the count to Vanderbrake, a ball and a strike.
It's a good count, too, for Vanderbrake to look for something over the heart of the plate and try and drive it into the outfield. All 3 outfielders are relatively deep right now with the left fielder LaFleur practically on the warning track.
1-1. Good changeup, wobbling all over the place. Clips the outside corner. 1-2 the count to Vanderbrake, who does have 22 two-out hits or two-out RBIs this year. Carolina needs one now with no score and 2 away in the third. Kepley at second. The 1-2 pitch. Kepley takes off for third. Pitch high and no throw down to third base. Kane Kepley in about 2 minutes has gone from 5th all-time in steals at Carolina to tied with Chad Holbrook for 4th all-time with an even 40 pilfers.
There aren't too many guys in the country who can steal third base without a throw.
2-2 to Vanderbrake. Next offering. Bounced over to second base. Charged in by Jones. Throw to first. And the inning is over. Vandebreak grounds out. Second baseman on second baseman crime ends the third. The Tar Heels go no runs, no hits, no errors. There was the walk to Kepley and 2 stolen bases later. He's stranded at third base. We go to the fourth. 0-0 between Carolina and Holy Cross from Learfield.
Need to refresh your UNC gear? Visit the new off-campus Tar Heel Team Store located at 120 East Franklin Street in the heart of Chapel Hill. Open Tuesday through Sunday, we offer an enhanced in-person shopping experience and carry the latest designs from Nike, Jordan, Peter Millar, and more. Stop by for an official Nike replica jersey with your favorite Tar Heels name and number. The Tar Heel Team Store is your one-stop shop for all things UNC. Mention code Carolina Baseball and receive 10% off your purchase. Exclusions apply.
When you're getting ready for the big game, make sure you have plenty of Hampton Farms peanuts on hand. Hampton Farms is based in North Carolina, just like the Tar Heels, and they specialize in producing only the highest quality, fresh roasted, in-the-shell peanuts and snacks. In addition, peanuts are one of the healthiest snacks around. They are naturally low in carbs and high in protein. So before the next game, head to your favorite store's produce department and grab a bag of Hampton Farms in-the-shell peanuts, the official peanuts of the Tar Heels.
On to the fourth. With no score between Carolina and Holy Cross, this inning is presented as always by Hardison and Cochran. Injured and have legal questions? Call Hardison and Cochran at 919-ALL-4s. Partner Luke Stevenson hit a long foul ball in the first. Tyson Bass unleashed on a foul ball in the second with a runner on. Kane Kepley gets aboard and steals 2 bases. And it's still 0-0 through 3 innings of play. I think it's safe to say to this point in the game, Carolina's been the aggressor. But Holy Cross still right there with the Heels in a game that's been defined by pitching and defense.
Absolutely, and give credit to Danny Macchiarola of Holy Cross for executing on his pitches and getting the outs he needs to.
First pitch of the fourth from Knapp to LaFleur. A foul ball. Rolls behind the third base line, 0-1 to the left fielder who was the first strikeout victim of Knapp when he struck out the side in the first. Knapp with 3 strikeouts through 3 innings. Heaves the 0-1. Fastball. It's right over the inside corner. 0-2. Might have looked inside from our vantage point, but with the way that LaFleur crowds the plate, it was clearly a strike. The 0-2. Knapp has a fastball served on a rope into right field, and it's Holy Cross's second single of the game. LaFleur to first with his first hit, and the leadoff man aboard for the second time via a single. Third time this game, though, in 4 innings. Knapp allowed the leadoff walk to Egri in the first. King singled in the second, and now it's LaFleur on base in the fourth.
This fastball's only showing 90 miles an hour on the scoreboard.
Belargian at the plate, 0-for-1 of the strikeout. Knapp from the stretch induces a foul ball. That's hit into the net in front of us. 0-1 to Belargian, the first baseman. Grew up in Staten Island. Second team all-conference the last 2 years. The 0-1. Off speed and a dandy of a pitch by Knapp. Freezes Belargian, makes it 0-2. He's hit safely in 15 out of his last 16 entering the Chapel Hill Regional. The 0-2 in an all-righty affair. Fastball grounded to second base. Vandebreak flips to Madera, and the Tar Heels turn 2. 4-6-3 on the twin killing. Second time this afternoon Carolina has turned 2, and Vandebreak has been the catalyst both times.
It's a great job by Jake Knapp. Getting the pitch inside, forcing a rollover to Jackson Vandebreak. And Vandebreak and Madera look like pros when they turn 2, don't they?
Special tandem up the middle for Carolina this year as Royer hits from the right side, takes a strike on the Knapp fastball. 0-1. Hard to believe Vandebreak was in and out of the lineup last year and Madera was playing second base. The 0-1. Swinging a fly ball down the line towards right field. Bass in fair territory just in front of the warning track. Makes the play in front of the sign that reads 340. And the inning is over. LaFleur gets a single to right. Balargian hits into a 4-6-3 double play. And Royer quickly flies out. It is another quick inning for Carolina in the field as the Holy Cross Crusaders go no runs, a hit, no errors, and nobody left. Still no runs in today's game. Carolina tries to change that with Stevenson, Gallagher, and Stokely due up in the bottom half of the fourth. 0-0 between Holy Cross and Carolina from Learfield.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope, recovery is possible. Find out how at startwithhope.com. Brought to you by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
Put your phone on D&D, that means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always sing with me. So put your phone on D&D, that means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always remember this beat.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Modelo is proud to sponsor Carolina Baseball. Modelo, an official beer of your North Carolina Tar Heels, who host Holy Cross today in the Chapel Hill Regional. 0-0 into the home half of the fourth. Danny Macchiarola's pitch count sits at 53 through 3. Jake Knapp, thanks in large part to the double play ball, has gotten 2 of them today. 44 pitches through 4 innings as Luke Stevenson leads off the bottom of the fourth. Gavin Gallagher to follow. Then it's Hunter Stokely.
What we saw Carolina do so well against Florida State was just drive up pitch count, and you wonder if that has to be the strategy here against Macchiarola.
Pitch to Stevenson, frozen rope to center, but another good play by Royer in the outfield. An efficient 1 pitch and 1 out for Macchiarola and the Crusaders as Stevenson is retired, and that'll send us to a quick 10-second station ID down the lines on the Tar Heel Sports Network. No score in the bottom of the fourth. 1 down, base is clear. Gallagher at the plate for Carolina. The righty takes outside 1-0 to the Heels' third baseman. Took a walk back in the second. We're in the fourth. Still 0-0 between Carolina and Holy Cross.
Tar Heels are hitting the ball hard, just right at guys.
The 1-0 finds the zone. 1-1 on the changeup. Macchiarola getting his 16th start of the season. The 1-1. Fastball outside of the righty, 2-1. His last outing came in one of those games against Columbia. Went 2 innings, scattered 3 hits, didn't allow a run or a walk, struck out 4. Took a no decision in what turned out to be an 8-4 loss. That was the first of those 2 games at Columbia. The 2-1, Gallagher smacks a foul ball the other way over the Holy Cross bullpen. And out of play, 2-2 to the sophomore from Apex. Gallagher hits with 1 down and nobody on in the fourth. Stokely on deck. No score. Macchiarola's next offering. Gallagher turns on that and drives a fly ball. That is deep to left center field and off the wall. Royer couldn't make the play. Gallagher round second, digging hard for third, and he is in there, head first with a triple. Gallagher smacked that right on top of the sign that reads 66 All-Americans, just left the center field. For a moment, Royer looked like he might have had a play on it. Instead, Royer hits the wall. The ball deflects off the wall, back onto the grass in left center. Gallagher never stopped chugging. He's at third with a 1-out 3-bagger.
We mentioned that Gallagher was the spark plug in this Carolina lineup, and he's got the first Tar Heel hit of the day. And now Hunter Stokely has a big opportunity to do some damage on the scoreboard.
First triple of the season for Gallagher comes at a great time with no score in the bottom of the fourth. In the Chapel Hill Regional, Carolina trying to assume the upper hand on Holy Cross. Stokely, left-handed hitter, 0 for 1 with a fly out to left field. And as he steps out to adjust the gloves, time called downstairs. That triple by Gallagher, Carolina's first base hit. And Gallagher's been aboard twice with an earlier walk. Macchiarola's first pitch to Stokely. Socked on the ground up against the bricks. First base side, foul, 0-1 of the Tar Heel first baseman.
And the way this has been a pitcher's duel, Stokely can't be looking to do too much here with Gallagher on third. Just a deep fly ball will get the job done. Looks like Holy Cross is almost conceding a sac fly with how deep the outfielders are.
An eye engagement issue for those that haven't followed Carolina baseball this year. Hunter Stokely has been maybe as good as there is in the country at getting those engagement violations noticed by the home plate umpire.
It's a shame that's not a tracked stat.
Here's the 0-1. Low and inside. Stokely tells Gallagher to stay put at third base. 1 ball and 1 strike as Carolina tries to scratch across the game's first run. In the bottom of the fourth, Stevenson flied to center to begin the inning. Gallagher just tripled off the wall in left center. The 1-1, Stokely smacks a fly ball to shallow left field. Gallagher had to wait. The ball falls, and Stokely's got an RBI. Carolina leads Holy Cross 1-0. Timely hitting by Hunter Stokely. And Carolina has the early advantage in the bottom of the fourth.
And not just timely hitting by Hunter Stokely, but I've been so impressed this year with his ability to constantly go the other way when Carolina needs a big hit. He gets shifted heavily towards the pole side and has realized that instead of just trying to whiz a line drive by the second baseman, he can tap a ball the other way, and it works just the same.
And with LaFleur continuing to play so deep in left, that ball easily fell. Here's Madera. First pitch slider outside, 1-0. I'm looking at LaFleur in left field. He is just off the warning track. And with a guy like Madera at the plate, you'd figure he'd be playing in a lot more close than that, wouldn't you? 1-0 tickles the outside corner. Changeup makes it 1-1.
You would assume so. And the other thing that's shocking to see is Holy Cross is giving up a lot of ground in right center field as well, which is where Madera hit the ball in his first plate appearance.
Stokely leads off a first, throw over, backhanded by Balargian. Stoke is safe. Count to Madera 1-1 with 1 away in the fourth. Carolina leads Holy Cross 1-0. As much blue sky as we've seen all day over Boshemer Stadium with the flags barely blowing towards left. A long pause by Macchiarola and another throw over to first base. Stokely 4 for 4 in steals this year.
He'll take a bag if you're not careful.
The pitch to the plate. Madera bouncing ball to second base. Jones stays back on it. Stokely arrives to second with no throw. The throw goes to first. Madera set down 4-3 for the second out of the inning. Carolina's got a runner in scoring position with a 1-0 lead. And Tyson Bass moves from the on-deck circle to the right-handed batter's box. Holy Cross wants to chat things over on the mound. There's nothing doing in the bullpen, so this is simply strategy and how to pitch Bass, you would surmise, would you not?
Yeah, absolutely, and especially the way Bass clobbered that foul ball back when he was first up. You have to be careful here, recognizing the power. And the other thing to consider is how well Jake Knapp has been throwing, where if you're Holy Cross facing a guy like Jake Knapp, you might not get 2 or 3 runs on the day. So important for the Crusaders to try and keep Carolina at just 1 here in the fourth.
Begins today in earnest. Partner, you've been manning the ACC and NCAA tournament scoreboard. what jumps out to you early here on a Friday?
Yeah, there's only one other game in action right now. That's ECU and Florida in the Conway Regional down in South Carolina. Little surprising, ECU with a 4-0 lead over the Gators in the bottom of the second. ECU chased Florida ace Liam Peterson early in the game.
We're back to work here in Chapel Hill as the first pitch to Bass. That's pulled over third base. Stokely running on contact. Sent around and scores to make it 2-0 Carolina. Bass into second with a 2-out RBI double. The Tar Heels have doubled their lead. And all of a sudden, these Carolina bats have come to life in the fourth. A triple by Gallagher, an RBI single by Stokely, an RBI double by Tyson Bass. It's Carolina 2 and Holy Cross nothing.
It's no shocker that it took till the second time through the order for Carolina to start hitting Macchiarola because of the pitch mix that he uses. But once the Heels have seen all of those pitches once or twice, Carolina's been able to turn on some baseballs and do some damage.
Angelo next up from the left side. Takes off the plate wide, 1-0. Sam hit into... just hit a ground ball over to second base when he let off the third. The worm has turned, though, here in the fourth with the Heels up 2-0. The 1-0. Fastball inside corner, and it's 1-1. 2 down, Bass at second. Heels up 2 in the bottom of the fourth. A fantastic showing of Carolina fans on hand today in the postseason. The 1-1. Angelo swats a foul ball off to the left. You know, the good thing about postseason baseball is that the media doesn't always park in that Boshemer middle lot. They get parking over in the Rams head deck, and if a foul ball goes there, I don't know how it would, but I think the Cards are going to be safe this weekend.
Absolutely. We do have to be careful of the food tent down there.
The 1-2 taken inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes, and the food was good earlier this morning.
Some waffles, eggs, bacon.
First-class operation put on by the operations people here in Chapel Hill every time the regionals come to this neck of the woods. The 2-2. Angelo grounds foul right of first base. Still 2-2 to Angelo. Talked to some folks from Oklahoma yesterday during their practice. Blown away by the setting, and that was with nobody here at Boshemer Stadium.
I think we heard some Oklahoma coaches saying they might hit the portal after seeing the batting cages.
The 2-2, Angelo rips a single to left field. That splits short and third. Bass around from second to score, and the 2-out parade of base hits continues for Carolina in the bottom half of the fourth inning. It is 3-0 Diamond Heels. Carolina just won't quit.
Again, well done by Angelo. Just go the other way, shoot a ground ball through the 6-hole, and Tyson Bass, one of the fastest Tar Heels on this team, scored easily.
Carter French at the plate from the left side. It is 3-0 Carolina in the fourth. First pitch drops low, 1-0 to the left fielder, and some purple and gray bodies begin to move out of the dugout and run towards the bullpen as Macchiarola may be on borrowed time. The 1-0. French takes a strike at the knees. There's the fastball to make it 1-1.
That was Augie Walters and Derek Voles going down to the Holy Cross pen, and now Marco Citro as well.
The 1-1 from the righty to the lefty. Over the inside corner. Good heater by Macchiarola makes it 1-2 to French. He lined out to second in the third. We play on in the fourth with 2 down and a runner at first. It's Carolina 3 and Holy Cross nothing. The 1-2 veers outside, 2-2. Tar Heels have 2 2-out base hits. Bass with an RBI double that scored Stokely, and Angelo with the RBI single that scored Bass. Gallagher had an earlier triple. Stokely drove him in with a single. The 2-2. French volleys a line drive into right field. Egri gets to it on a hop. And the Heels still mashing in the fourth. It is 3 consecutive 2-out hits for Carolina. The lineup turns over to Kane Kepley, who's 0 for 1 with a walk and 2 stolen bases. He's the 8th Tar Heel to come to the plate in the home half of the fourth.
And now 4 of the last 5 Tar Heels who have come to the plate have gotten a hit. And the one guy who got out, Alex Madera, still did a job by moving Hunter Stokely into scoring position.
Angelo at second, French at first. The pitch to Kepley. Sinks low, a ball and no strikes to the kid they call the Lion King. Kepley 4 for 13 in Durham last week. 3 runs, 4 RBIs. The 1-0. Fastball runs over the black outer half. 1-1. All that work at the DBAP helped lead Carolina to its 9th ACC title and beating Clemson on Sunday 14-4. The 1-1. Kepley knocks a fly ball down the line and left. LaFleur's got a hustle, finds the wall, and the ball's out of play. A ball and 2 strikes. The count to Kepley just got over the wall and safely turned into a souvenir. Kepley back to the plate and has to get his bat just outside the left-handed batter's box. Angelo, the lead runner for Carolina at second base. French behind him at first. The Heels lead Holy Cross 3-0 in Game 1 of the Chapel Hill Regional. Oklahoma and Nebraska to play later today. The 1-2. Up and away with a fastball. 2-2.
Now Macchiarola's pitch count is over 80.
Carolina's gotten 3 runs and all 5 of its hits this inning. The 2-2. Kepley lashes a foul ball behind third and out of play. It remains 2-2. Some more baseballs brought out to our home plate umpire.
1 or 2 pockets here today, Dave?
I'm looking downstairs at a 2-pocket guy in Brian DeBrouwer. Once you get into the postseason, you see some umpires you've not seen before. The 2-2. Kepley turns and sails a fly ball into shallow right center field. Egri calls off the second baseman and gloves it to end the inning. Ball had all sorts of hang time. Jones backed off when Egri caught him off, and the inning is over. The Heels strike for 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors, and 2 left stranded through 4 innings of play. Carolina leads 3-0 on the way to the top of the 5th. The Crusaders bring King, Scanlon, and Peak to the dish to face off against Jake Knapp, who's got some run support. The Tar Heels lead Holy Cross 3-0 from Learfield.
On game day, there's nothing like tailgating, touchdowns, and Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Twisted Tea goes down smooth and tastes like real iced tea because it's made with real brewed tea. Cool, refreshing, and a 5% kick of alcohol. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Look for the bright yellow cans wherever you buy beer. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Playing baseball at the highest level requires excellent physical conditioning, and keeping your home in the best shape requires physical attention too. As a proud partner of Carolina Athletics, Allen Tate Realtors recommends a home physical. We'll determine your home's value, share the latest market trends, and recommend updates to maximize your most important investment. Whether you plan to sell or stay, be sure to cover the bases with a complimentary home physical from Allen Tate. Visit homephysical.com today.
Carolina Baseball is presented all season long by Hardison and Cochran. Injured and have legal questions? Call Hardison and Cochran, 919-ALL-4s.
Carolina has a 3-0 lead on Holy Cross heading into the top half of the 5th. The Crusaders at the plate with the 5, 6, and 7 spots due up. Jimmy King, Sean Scanlon, and Connor Peak. Jake Knapp walked the first man that he faced, C.J. Egri, back in the first, then struck out the side. He's allowed a couple of leadoff singles, but the Tar Heels have turned a couple of double plays. And King is 1 for 1 with one of those singles, leads off the 5th from the right side. First pitch. Fastball wide, 1-0 the count to King. Senior grew up in Philadelphia.
Star basketball player in high school.
Looks at a changeup outside. 2-0.
I saw that he averaged 22.4 points per game his senior year of high school in basketball. That's pretty good.
Pretty good area for hoops as well. The 2-0. Outside 3-0. Baseball, though, has been King's ticket in the college ranks. First team all-conference this year in the Patriot League. Naps 3-0. Runs right over the heart of the plate, taken 3-1 to the leadoff man, Jimmy King, in the top of the fifth. Carolina leads Holy Cross 3-0. It's an all-righty showdown between Knapp and King. The 3-1. Swing and a miss. The fastball won the moment, and the count is full. Lights are on here at the Bosch. About 1:15 on a Friday. Knapp kicks and fires. Strike three looking. I won't even wait on Brian DeBrouwer to punch out Jimmy King. That was clear as day. And after Knapp fell behind 3-0, 3 consecutive strikes, and Knapp's 4th strikeout of the ball game.
It's getting to the point where it almost feels like Knapp is just doing that to challenge himself, getting behind 3-0 and saying, hey, maybe I can throw 3 straight strikes here. And he did, and we've got one down.
This is Sean Scanlon next up. Swings at the first pitch, lobs it foul left side, and it's 0-1. Kind of the reverse of what Colin Moran used to do when he played here all those years ago. He'd wait for there to be 2 strikes in the count before he went to work. And boy, could he work at the plate. The 0-1. Scanlon gets a fastball on the outside corner. That's strike 2. Scanlon fly to left in the second. We're in the fifth. 3-0 Carolina. The 0-2. Knapp to the changeup. Outside. 1-2 to the lefty, Sean Scanlon. Tar Heels with a bit of a shift, expecting him to pull. Instead, expect the strikeout. Pitch was in the dirt. Stevenson fields and throws to first. 5 strikeouts in the game for the Napster. 2 down in the fifth. Nobody on for Connor Peak, who lined into a double play when he was last at the plate in the second inning. And he goes down to third base to have a quick chat. Probably a scheme to break up the rhythm of Jake Knapp. And boy, is he in a groove right now.
Yep. Jake Knapp is absolutely dealing. This is what you expected out of the Tar Heel ace. And I want to bring up an interesting point here. Connor Peak and Sean Scanlon are both in the transfer portal right now. And the reason they're in the portal before the season is over is because Holy Cross does not have a grad school. So both guys are seeking a 5th year, new home to play college baseball. They just can't do it at Holy Cross. They obviously both love Holy Cross. They thanked Holy Cross when they entered the portal, but one of those weird things where they have to go elsewhere to play a 5th year.
Grad school is not something I gave a lot of thought to. First pitch, big fly, deep left center field. French is back at the track, back against the wall, inning over. Peak with a long fly out. There's the advertisement for 25 first-round picks and the bigs for Carolina. French's back was right up against that number, and the inning is over. King strikes out looking. Scanlon strikes out swinging. Peak flies out, and it is another tidy 1-2-3 frame for Carolina in the field. The Tar Heels bring Vanderbrake, Stevenson, and Gallagher to the dish. In the bottom of the fifth, the Heels have a 3-0 lead on the Holy Cross Crusaders. This is Carolina baseball from Learfield.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Ma, is this how you feed a hamster?
I think so.
Is my homework right?
I think so.
Is, this milk still good?
I think so.
When it comes to parenting, sometimes it's okay to think you know. But when it's something as important as your child's car seat, don't just think. Know. Double check if your child is in the right seat for their age and size. It'll help protect them in a car crash. Don't just think. Know by visiting nhtsa.gov/the-right seat. A message from NHTSA and the Ad
facing legal questions after an injury from an accident or at work? Don't wait another second. Reach out to Hardison and Cochran at 919 all fours. Legal consultations come at no cost and are completely confidential. If making a phone call isn't your thing, visit lawyernc.com. That's lawyernc.com. Hardison and Cochran, your trusted North Carolina injury lawyers and proud sponsors of Carolina Baseball. Dave Nathan and Ben Mihalovich, your trusted North Carolina broadcasters, on hand today in the Chapel Hill Regional. The Heels lead Holy Cross 3-0 as we begin the bottom of the fifth. Here Jackson Vanderbrake takes a strike on the outside corner from Macchiarola. And it's 0-1 to Vandy, who's 0 for 2 in the game. Fly out and the ground out. One of just a very few number of Tar Heels yet to reach today. The 0-1. Swung past the fastball, and it's 0-2. Stevenson, who's on deck, is also 0 for 2. Madera 0 for 2. They're the only 3 Tar Heels who've not gotten aboard today. The 0-2. Vanderbrake checked this swing on a pitch tailing outside. Didn't go, says Connor Hoagland, the first base umpire on appeal. A ball and 2 strikes. Ben, you talked about Macchiarola's slider before we got started today. It has impressed.
Absolutely. And certainly fooled Vanderbrake there.
The 1-2 to Vanderbrake. Foul ball popped up on the right side out of play. 1-2 to Yakima, Washington's Jackson Vanderbrake. Second team All-ACC 2 years ago. Third team All-ACC this year. And a member of the ACC All-Tournament team last week. There's another slider. Vanderbrake straightens it out and drives a liner into the gap in right center. Royer gets to it on the track, and Vanderbrake coasts into second with a stand-up double. Second, now third time through the order, Carolina has gotten to Macchiarola.
I think Vanderbrake heard you say that he hadn't been on base yet today.
Well, via the double, no need to say that anymore.
Well, you stated about the next guy here, Stevenson.
A couple of flyouts. The first one to right field ended the first. The second one to center began the fourth. We're in the fifth. Carolina 3, Holy Cross 0. Vanderbrake at second base with nobody out. Macchiarola's pitch. Strike down the middle, and Stevenson takes the fastball 0-1.
The line out to center might have been the hardest hit ball of the day.
Stevenson 3 for 13 at the DBAP last week with a couple of home runs. The 0-1, soft bouncer right side, foul. Coach Jackson roams towards the brickwork to scoop up the loose change. The count to Stevenson, 0-2. Tons of Carolina blue in the ballpark, some pockets of Holy Cross purple, even some Nebraska red here in the building. Macchiarola steps off the mound and looks Vanderbrake back over to second base.
Now here's a question. Can you tell the difference between that Nebraska red and the Oklahoma red?
Whew, now, Oklahoma would take issue with their colors being called red. I stumbled upon it being crimson, I think, a time or two ago.
Ah, I see.
The 0-2. Fastball inside, 1-2. Now, I was struck by the first hand account of how much respect there is between Oklahoma and Nebraska. This is not one of these rivalries from the old days when they were in the same league that's got vitriol and animosity. Those are two programs that actually get along pretty well as Stevenson fans on a change-up. And that is strike 3. Macchiarola's first strikeout of the game comes in the fifth. It's the first out of the inning. Brings Gallagher to the plate with Vanderbrake at second, and the Heels up on the Crusaders 3-0. Apparently OU Texas is where the blood boils over.
So I've heard.
Not a lot of love lost between the Sooners and Oklahoma State Cowboys either.
Bedlam.
Pitch to Gallagher. Swinging a line drive. That's past the shortstop King. It went off the top of his glove into left center field. Coach Forbes, he sends Vanderbrake into score. 4-0 Carolina. An absolute screamer off the bat from Gavin Gallagher. He's got his second hit, his first RBI. He's on base for the third time. 4-0 Heels in the bottom of the fifth.
Boy, Gavin Gallagher loves him some playoff baseball here at the Bosch. The most outstanding player in the Chapel Hill Regional last year. Walk-off grand slam and some stud plays defensively, and he's picking up right where he left off in 2025 now against Holy Cross, and I think he just chased Danny Maciarola out of this game.
Yeah, Coach Kahovic is out of the dugout, takes the ball from Maciarola, who was good for the first 3, but the Tar Heels have been better in the last 2, and a 4-0 lead for Carolina in the 5th puts Holy Cross into its bullpen.
I think this
and the Crusaders jog in Derek Voles, the 6-foot freshman out of Aston, PA, by way of the Hill School. So we knew coming into this weekend that Maciarola and then Jaden Waiwoda, who's expected to pitch tomorrow, could sling it with the best of them. What we're not quite sure of is whether or not Holy Cross can stay with things once they get into the bullpen, as Voles, the first arm called upon in relief, makes his 17th appearance, 12th in relief, a record of 2-1 on the season, an ERA of 5.36, opponents hitting 191 off the southpaw. 4-0 Heels in the 5th. The infield congregates behind the mound. 2 of the umpires, Jeff Wright and Joe Harris, between 2nd and 3rd. The center fielder, Royer, the left fielder, LaFleur Chat, left of center, as Carolina has claimed the early lead on Holy Cross, 4-0 in the bottom of the 5th. It was a 0-0 game after 3, but that 3-run 4th opened up the floodgates for Carolina, and Maciarola was back on his heels in the last frame and change.
Lefty Voles in to face the lefty Stokely and then Madera.
To put everything in perspective, Maciarola had allowed just 1 run in his last 4 starts. He'd won 5 consecutive decisions. Here's Voles' first pitch. Upstairs to Stokely, 1-0. Carolina with the 7 hits. That's 1 shy of the 8 Maciarola allowed against Binghamton earlier this year. 4-0 Carolina in the 5th. Next pitch in an all-lefty showdown. Stokely couldn't hold off on the check swing. Appeal down to third base. Joe Harris says he went. 1-1 to the Carolina first baseman is 1 for 2 with an RBI single and a run scored.
This really changes the approach here for the Diamond Heels at the plate. Instead of seeing all these different pitches from Voles, you're not going to get the variety that you saw from Maciarola.
Throw to first base. Gallagher back over in time as Balargian holds the runner. The 1-1 to Stokely. Runner takes off. Pitch was high, and a throw down to second. Not in time. Gallagher in with a steal. The Tar Heels have a runner at second with nobody down in the 5th, looking to add to a 4-0 lead. Gallagher with his 4th steal and 6 attempts in 2025. 3rd steal in the game for Carolina. 86 steals in 99 tries this year for Coach Forbes' bunch.
That's pretty good.
The 2-1 pitch to Stokely. Swinging a foul tip goes off the glove of the catcher, Brown.
Looks like Stokely's having a little bit of trouble picking up these pitches from Voles. His swings aren't as sharp as they normally are. It looks more now like he's waving at the ball and guessing a little as opposed to the violent swing we're used to.
Gallagher covered in dirt from head to toe, leads off at second base. Time called, and there's another eye engagement violation. That's the second one that there's been today. Coincidentally, Hunter Stokely's been at the plate in both occurrences.
I don't think that's a coincidence, actually, Dave.
Voles comes set from the third base side of the rubber, peeks to second before the pitch. Off speed and strike 3. Stokely goes down looking on a nasty changeup for the second out of the inning. And it brings Alex Madera to the plate. With Gallagher at second base, a run already in. Carolina 4, Holy Cross nothing in the bottom half of the fifth. Ahmad's 0 for 2 with a fly out to right and a ground out to second. And Ben, like you said earlier, a ton of space open in right center field. First pitch fastball runs wide, and it's a 1-0 count to Madera, left-handed hitter.
Actually, it looks like Holy Cross is playing more towards Madera going the other way.
Gallagher well off of second base. Shortstop plays behind him. The 1-0 to Madera. Changeup settles in the zone for a called strike, and the count even 1-1 to the heel shortstop.
Well, that changeup really takes its time getting to the plate at just 74 miles an hour.
4-0 Carolina in the bottom of the fifth. 2 down, Gallagher at second. Voles fires high with a fastball. 2-1. So the changeup sits mid-70s. The fastball can get up into the low 90s. That's a lot of velo to navigate if you're at the plate trying to figure out which one's coming. The 2-1. Madera swung on the fastball, connected but vaulted foul. 2-2 to the Tar Heel middle infielder. What a journey for Madera. 4 years at Division III Arcadia, 2 consecutive seasons in the postseason at Carolina, a trip to Omaha. Feels pretty blessed to be in the situation that he's in. Spin and a soft toss over to second. Gallagher's over on the bag before King can cover.
And you got to remember that the trip to Omaha might not happen if it's not for his base hit in the top of the 10th inning in the Chapel Hill Regional against LSU Game 7 last year.
Carolina found its way past Long Island in Game 1 thanks to a walk-off grand slam from Gallagher, who's over at second base. Tar Heels beat LSU in the first go-round and had to face him in that elimination game. Saw LSU 3 times last year in the Chapel Hill Regional. Then swept West Virginia, getting a walk-off homer from Vance Honeycutt in Game 1. The 2-2 to Madera. Swing and a miss on the fastball, strike 3. Voles strikes out a pair. Holy Cross strikes out the side. Carolina gets 1 run on 2 hits and strands a runner in the 5th. We go to the 6th. 4-0 Carolina. It's Jones, Brown, and Egri, the 8, 9, and 1 spots. Do it for the Crusaders when we come back after this from Learfield.
This season, enjoy the winning combination of Tar Heel baseball and peanuts, grown right here in the Tar Heel Stadium. The peanut farmers of North Carolina are proud to support the Diamond Heels again this year and remind you that peanuts are delicious and nutritious, high in protein, and contain 0 cholesterol. Peanuts are a healthy snack that can be enjoyed on the go, at home, or while you're cheering on the Heels at Boshamer Stadium. So enjoy some North Carolina peanuts today.
When it comes to your home or business, you need a plumbing and HVAC team on your side. Count on Brown Brothers Plumbing and Heating. Serving the community since 1933, our family is here to keep your family comfortable. Whether it is a leaking pipe, stopped up drain, water heater issues, or HVAC needs, we are here for you. Our licensed professionals have the training and experience needed to alleviate your problems and get you back to playing ball. Call Brown Brothers Plumbing and Heating at 919-220-2554 or inquire at bbph.com.
In baseball, you need a great game plan. Same with your health care benefits. That's why more people trust Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, the state's most preferred health insurer. So put Blue Cross North Carolina on your team. Blue Cross North Carolina, official health insurance partner of Carolina Athletics. Ben Mihalovich to my left, Dave Nathan here, right behind home plate. Your official Carolina baseball broadcasters. In the Chapel Hill Regional, Carolina has vaulted out in front of Holy Cross 4-0 after 5 innings of play. Jake Knapp remains on the bump for Carolina. And his first pitch of the 6th, the called strike to the lefty Brendan Jones, who falls behind 0-1. Knapp's pitch count, partner sitting at 56. And that's 41 have been for strikes. Next offering. That's another strike. That's another way to do it on the changeup, but it's all the same, and it's 0-2 to Jones.
It's crucial in a regional type setting because you don't want to burn too many pitchers on the first day, and right now Carolina on a good pace.
The 0-2 high and away with a fastball. 1-2 the count to Jones, who popped foul to Madera when he led off the third. First to the plate in the sixth, Carolina leads Holy Cross 4-0. The 1-2. Knapp to the fastball. Just off the plate outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Stevenson liked where it landed. It hit the target, but the target was outside. The 2-2. Definitely outside. Another changeup makes it full 3-2. Knapp walked the first man that he faced, but has struck out 5 through 5. The payoff pitch from the righty to the lefty. Fly ball into left field. French on his horse, racing towards the line, and the ball falls foul by a foot. Still 3-2 to Jones, who nearly got to second base before he turns around and heads back to the plate. Jones 2 for 3 in that second game against Columbia with a run scored, a double, an RBI. One of those hits was a double, as Holy Cross fell to Columbia 13-10 in taking its 25th loss of the season. Next payoff pitch from Knapp to Jones. Just high, and he lost him. So Knapp didn't walk anybody for 27 1/3 innings. That covered State, Pitt, Florida State, and Boston College appearances. He's walked 2 today. And again, a leadoff man aboard for Colin Brown, who hits from the right side. 0 for 1 of the fly out to center. First pitch fastball framed by Stevenson on the outside corner. 0-1 of the catcher out of Los Angeles. Went to Notre Dame High School.
Feels like every time Knapp has let a guy on base, he's come back with a couple strikes.
The 0-1 knocked foul, and it's 0-2. His alma mater has produced the likes of Jamie Dixon, former Pitt Panther head basketball coach, now at TCU. Terry Donahue, Hall of Fame football coach at UCLA. And the 1993 AL Cy Young Award winner, Jack McDowell. Next pitch to Brown. Bounced foul over the Argyle third base side. 0-2. Now, here's the other thing. I don't think McDowell's even the best baseball player that went to Notre Dame High School. That would probably go to the 2017 NL MVP, Giancarlo Stanton.
Yep.
The 0-2, liner back through the middle, hits second base, and bounces into center field. A leadoff walk to Jones and a single to Brown have Crusaders at first and second with nobody out. In the sixth, Carolina still leads 4-0, but this is the first time all afternoon you get the sense the Crusaders could threaten to score.
You know, Giancarlo Stanton is the active MLB home run leader.
Oh, I don't have to know these things. I come here so you can tell me these things. First time today, Holy Cross has gotten a runner to second base. Lineup turns over to C.J. Egri, who's 0 for 1 with a walk and a flyout. Shows bunt, puts it down in front of the mound. Knapp gets to it, throws to first, and Egri gets the job done for the Crusaders, advancing Jones to third base and Brown to second. 1 down in the inning. Holy Cross with 2 in scoring position. Carolina still holding a 4-0 lead. John LaFleur hitting next for the visitors from out of Worcester, Mass.
LaFleur pieced up a ball in his last plate appearance. He singled through the right side.
Knapp fires the first pitch. Pop foul. Third base side, halfway up in the seats behind Carolina's dugout. 0-1 to LaFleur, who struck out in the first and then singled in the fourth. Carolina leads Holy Cross 4-0 in the sixth, but a combination of a Jones walk, a Brown single, and an Egri sacrifice bunt has Crusaders at second and third with 1 down, threatening to score. Knapp from out of the stretch, first base side of the rubber. The 0-1 beat him with a fastball, and that's rocketed back up to 94 on the radar gun. He can still reach back and pound the zone with the heat. 0-2 to LaFleur.
He gave a little grunt there, and that's where he's had his success against LaFleur, is that outside corner.
The 0-2. Knapp went outside again with a 95-mile-per-hour fastball. A ball and 2 strikes, the outfielder. John LaFleur, hockey player back in high school. Won a state title at Loomis Chaffee. The 1-2. Again outside, 2-2. And Ben, having grown up in Connecticut yourself, you're familiar with Loomis Chaffee High School.
Yeah, I played against John LaFleur in high school. I think he hit a moonshot against us in one of the games.
Here's the 2-2 to the lefty. And LaFleur dumps it foul at the plate. Some fresh balls brought out to our home plate umpire, Brian DeBrouwer. Places the first couple into his right pocket. The next 2 go into the left pocket. Jones, your runner at third base. Brown at second. 1 down and the Heels up 4. The pitch. Fly ball the other way towards the Heels bullpen. Out of play, still 2-2.
LaFleur leads Holy Cross with 7 home runs.
Had 3 of them in the Lehigh series where he drove in 12. Had 7 ribbies in just a single game. Had a grand slam against Lehigh back on the 3rd of May. The 2-2. Just got a piece of it to stay alive.
It's a really good battle right here.
So Knapp was sitting 94, 95, 96 in the first couple innings. Velo dropped off in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, but we're right back up into that mid-90s fastball heat of Knapp.
I think he senses the importance of the moment and is trying to rise to the occasion.
The 2-2 again. Outside 3-2, and he's gone full. Balargian on deck next to hit, and Willie hit with the bases loaded. That's the big question right now. Here's the 3-2. Knapp goes off speed and turning on it quickly. LaFleur grounds it foul past the first base coach. It remains 3 balls and 2 strikes in the top of the 6th. Carolina got 3 runs in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, and has a 4-0 lead in the top of the 6th. There is 1 down. Egri put down the sack bunt to move Jones and Brown into scoring position. Youngster got the job done. So here we go again. Knapp shakes off the first sign. Gives a nod with the second one. The 3-2. Fouled away. Another 95-mile-per-hour piece of cheddar humming along. Wind blowing as hard as it's blown all afternoon. All 3 flags showing their colors, blowing towards left field. You've got the state of North Carolina flag, the American flag, and the University of North Carolina flag. The 3-2. Soft grounder between the first base coach's box and the bag. That's a lot of pitches that LaFleur has seen.
And it's not like Knapp has a wide variety of pitches. So LaFleur's seeing everything that Knapp has to offer.
Here's the next one. Off speed and outside, LaFleur earns it, and I mean earns the walk. That's the 2nd free pass of the inning and the 3rd walk issued of the game. That ties Knapp's season high for free passes. He walked 3 Wake Forest Demon Deacons in the 1st inning of that series before he buckled down and beat the Deacs.
Here comes Coach Gaines out just to have a word with Jake Knapp. No one's throwing in the Carolina pen, although there are a couple guys down there. Now Mac Dye is going down there, I'm guessing to catch someone, seeing that he's in his full gear.
Going back to April the 11th, with 1 down in the 1st, Knapp walked Merrick Houston, Cade Lewis, and Jack Winne. The Deacs had the bases loaded with 1 down before Knapp struck out Dalton Wentz and then got Luke Costello to fly out to get out of the inning. Carolina went on to win the game 11-1. Knapp at that point in the season was 7-0, 12-0 today, looking for his 13th win And that is a feat that has been accomplished just a handful of times in Carolina baseball history. Mound meeting is over, and Balargian's at the plate from the right side. Knapp's first offering, a fastball up and away, 1-0. Greg Norris has the all-time single-season win record with 14. That stood since 1978. Patrick Johnson, Alex White, Andrew Miller have won 13 games in a year. The 1-0, Balargian, lazy fly to left center field. Kepley comes in, makes the catch. Runner tags from third, and the runner stays at third. A bullet that takes one bounce before the plate keeps Jones from scoring, and it keeps this game at 4-0. And this knowledgeable bunch of Carolina fans claps in approval of the defensive wizardry of Kane Kepley in center field.
That was a pretty great throw in from Kane Kepley. It's too bad it didn't mean anything and we didn't get to see a play at the plate. But it's probably for the better if you're Holy Cross.
So the bases stay loaded. 2 down on the 6th. Reuter at the plate. Carolina 4, Holy Cross nothing.
Crowd a little more into it.
Knapp's first pitch settles low and outside of the righty. 1-0. Royer has struck out and flied out. 0 for 2 in the game. He ended the first. He ended the 4th. Will he end the 6th? Knapp from the first base side of the rubber deals the 1-0 at the letters for a strike. Unveiled the changeup to make it 1-1 to the Holy Cross outfielder. The 1-1. Back to the fastball. Knee high, called a strike at 96. I swear I saw flames coming off the back of that baseball. It was moving.
Here come all the fans rising, standing up. Big 1-2.
It's on the way. And it's hit foul behind the plate. Again at 96. Closing in on 2 p.m. on a Friday afternoon. Carolina 4, Holy Cross nothing in the 6th. The Crusaders have the bases loaded but 2 down. Knapp tries to send us to the bottom of the inning. And that roar tells you we are headed to the bottom of the 6th. Still 4-0 Carolina. Knapp gets a gargantuan strikeout. And Holy Cross is still sitting on 0.
Great pitch by Jake Knapp just to challenge you fastball, and when Jake Knapp challenges you, he normally wins.
No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 3 left on base. Holy Cross continues to trail Carolina 4-0. It's the bottom third of the Heels order. Bass, Angelo, and French due up when we come back after this. That was absolutely Carolina baseball from Lear Field.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hey, so what's a great way to spread awareness that driving high is illegal everywhere? A catchy song, of course.
You can run, but you can't drive high. You can run, but you can't drive high.
Friendly reminder, don't drive high. If you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Along with Ben Mihaljevic, I'm Dave Nathan. Welcome back to the Chapel Hill Regional. Carolina leads Holy Cross 4-0 into the bottom of the 6th. The Crusaders had the bases loaded with 1 down. Jake Knapp gets Chris Balargian to fly out. Johnny Royer strikes out. And Holy Cross still scoreless with Carolina back at the plate in the bottom of the 6th. Tyson Bass to lead off against Derek Voles, who came in out of the pen last inning to strike out Stokely and Madera. Bass 1 for 2 with an RBI double and a run scored. First pitch. Swing and a miss. Changeup. 0-1 to Bass.
ESPN graphic flashed 97 miles an hour on the inning-ending strikeout for Jake Knapp.
The 0-1. Bass, two-hopper over to short, fielded by King, and throws Bass out 6-3 for the first out of the inning. Yeah, something about that inning made Knapp dig down deep, and when he needed his best pitches, they were right there where they've always been this entire year. It's a standalone type of campaign for Jake Knapp as Carolina goes into its batch of reserves with a lefty on the mound. The Tar Heels look like they'll go to Perry Hargett to pinch hit for Sam Angelo in the 8-spot DHing.
For as much as a question mark as this DH spot was for Carolina, I think it's advantageous for the Heels to have so many guys able to fill the spot.
First pitch called a strike to Hargett. 221 hitter in his freshman campaign, 2 homers, 15 RBIs. Hargett was 2 for 5 in Durham with 4 runs and a double last week in the ACC tournament. Next pitch, inside, 1-1 of the freshman. He's used to winning, won a state title last year at Metrolina. Finished 29-2. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. Changeup confused him, and it's 1-2.
Changeup again, it's 74. You can't wait on it long enough.
Infield plays Hargett straight up. Wind blustering the flags to left with the Heels up 4-0 in the 6th. 1 down, base is clear. The 1-2. Hargett tattoos a line drive, but right at the left fielder. LaFleur is there in front of the warning track to haul it down for the second out of the inning. And it brings Carter French to the dish with the Heels up 4-0 on Holy Cross. Final line, just in case you're curious, on Macchiarola, the Crusaders starter, 4 1/3, 7 hits, 4 runs, all earned, 2 walks, 1 strikeout. He threw 93 pitches before the Tar Heels got into the bullpen. Initial offering to French. Fastball outside of the lefty, 1-0. Nat, meanwhile, through 6 innings, has thrown 86 pitches, 61 for strikes. Knapp, time and again, has been good for 100-plus pitches this year. The 1-0, French knocks a fly ball the other way, but foul, one hopping the warning surface, left of the line in left field. 1 ball and 1 strike. Always kind of get a chuckle when I come across Carter. He still calls me Mr. Nathan after all these years, and in about 5 or 6 years, I'll be calling him Dr. French.
Yeah, really smart kid. I mean, we've mentioned it before, but he got into Carolina on his own volition, and it wasn't until after he was admitted to the school that the coaching staff took a look at him as a potential player.
The 1-1. French straightens it out. Fly ball to left. LaFleur traipsing towards the line, makes the catch a step inside fair territory. The inning is over. Bass grounds out to short. Hargett and French fly out to left. The Heels go 1-2-3 for the first time since the first inning, and we go to the top of the 7th with the Tar Heels leading the Holy Cross Crusaders by a score of 4-0 from Learfield.
You sit in traffic now, but later, there's an ice-cold reward. Modelo, the mark of a fighter. You've earned this rich golden lager with a crisp, refreshing taste. Because you know all your patience is paid out in gold. You remain calm through honks, bumper to bumper, and people yelling. Come on, move! You are a fighter, and Modelo is your reward. Modelo, the mark of a fighter. Drink responsibly. Beer imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
Like a walk-off home run to beat your rival, or the play you can remember like it was yesterday. Penn Station East Coast Subs fuels your passion for greatness. With a menu featuring an array of mouth-watering grilled submarine sandwiches, fresh-cut fries, and hand-squeezed lemonade, let Penn Station Subs make every day feel like game day. Penn Station East Coast Subs is happy to serve you with 6 locations right here in the Triangle. Come see us in store or order online. Penn Station East Coast Subs. It's all about good taste.
Carolina Baseball is presented all season long by Hardison and Cochran. Injured and have legal questions? Call Hardison and Cochran, 919-ALL-4s.
Carolina leads Holy Cross 4-0 into the 7th, which comes with a peanut fact of the game. Met a lovely lady, Kathy, on the way into the ballpark today. Kathy has a sister in the Charlotte area. Says her favorite part of the game is a peanut fact of the game. And it is that time to tell you. Peanuts contain 7 grams of protein, 3 grams of fiber per serving, along with 19 other vitamins and minerals. Peanuts are a locally grown, affordable, and versatile ingredient that's a great source of plant-based protein, and it's always a hit. NC Peanuts, a proud supporter of Tar Heel Baseball. Visit aboutpeanuts.com to learn more. Jake Knapp on the mound, Jimmy King at the plate. Righty takes a fastball outside, and it's 1-0 to the shortstop, who singled and struck out looking. 1 for 2 this afternoon. The 1-0. Swinging a foul ball lifted to the right side out of play. 1-1 the count to Jimmy King. I see that name. I flash back to the early 90s in the Fab Five at Michigan with Jimmy King from out of the state of Texas, wearing the maize and blue for the Wolverines. Took an L to the Tar Heels in the 93 championship game. The 1-1. Outside. 2-1. Jimmy King, Ray Jackson, Chris Webber, Juwan Howard, and Jalen Rose, your Fab Five from all those years ago.
There you go. I was playing trivia last night. One of the rounds was just name everyone on the Dream Team.
Bouncing ball up the middle. It's Madera getting to it behind second. Throws wide of first, and it took Stokely off the bag. King reaches. Will it be an infield single or a rare error by Alex Madera, who's committed just 5 on the season? The scoreboard puts up an error. Let's see what the stat broadcast has to say. First pitch. Runs across the inside corner to the lefty, and it's 0-1 to the New York product. Went to the famed Avon Old Farm School, nicknamed the Winged Beavers. The 0-1. Outside 1-1. I checked out some Winged Beaver merchandise this week. I was a little surprised to see that the Winged Beaver in some situations is actually in a seated posture instead of flying all over the place.
Yes, it is. I don't think I've ever seen that logo have it flying.
The 1-1, swing and a miss on the changeup, and it's 1-2. You figure you got wings, you're going to use them. Not the Winged Beaver. A little slow to get up off the ground. A ball and 2 strikes, the count to Scanlon. There he goes. Runner takes off from first, but the hit and run not executed on a foul ball halfway up the seats left side. 1-2 to the DH. Carolina 4, Holy Cross nothing in the 7th.
Dave, it begs the question, if you could put wings on any one animal that doesn't currently have wings.
Now you've got me thinking. A rarity. The 1-2. Outside, snap throw by Stevenson down to first. King back in time, and it's 2-2 to Scanlon. So I'm putting wings on an animal that doesn't already have them, huh?
That's exactly right.
Maybe a snake to get him out of the grass?
Ooh, that'd be scary.
I just want him out of the way where I can see him. The 2-2. Wide, and it's 3-2. Knapp hasn't walked more than 3 this year in a single game. His career high is 5. He's walked that many twice. He's on the precipice of some dubious history here in a year that's had all the history go his way. Throw to first. Stokely puts the tag on the runner, but King, in the nick of time, back on the white base in fair territory. There's the green bag in foul territory. Scanlon at the plate, 3-2 with nobody out in the 7th. Heels 4. Holy Cross Crusaders zip. Second throw over to first. No tag applied this time. Kings 20 for 21. Holy Cross has 3 players who have swiped at least 20 bases this year. King is one of them. Holy Cross with 123 steals this year, most in the Patriot League. The payoff pitch does pay off, Scanlon fans. And Jake Knapp has just recorded his 7th strikeout of the afternoon. While we wait for the next hitter to come to the plate, let's pause 10 seconds for a station ID on the Tar Heel Sports Network. First pitch changeup to Peak. A right-handed hitter takes a check swing. Called a strike. 0-1 to the third baseman is 0 for 2. Hit into a double play in the second. Flied out to left in the fifth. We're in the seventh. 4-0 Carolina. The 0-1 and an all-righty showdown. Low and outside. 1-1. Peak's been hot. He's reached an 18 consecutive entering this event. He's riding a 5-game hit streak. He's hit safely in 16 out of the last 17 since the middle of April. Second team all-conference in the Patriot League in 2025. The 1-1. Fastball. Slice foul off to the right. 1-2. Knapp's fastball still in the mid-90s.
That was pitch number 100 on the day for Jake Knapp.
The 1-2. Throw to first. Nothing doing with King over there. Knapp's season high for pitches, 116 against Wake Forest.
Last time he went under 100 was when he threw 85 against Boston College on March 21st.
The 1-2 from the righty to the righty. How about a throw to first? And King dives back in with no tag from Stokely. A little bit of a lull has fallen across this crowd that's been into it on almost every pitch today. The 1-2. Knapp way outside with that fastball. 2-2. Stevenson had to range into the left-handed batter's box to glove it. 2-2 the count to Connor Peak. Father Jeff played in the outfield for Lehigh back in his day in the early 90s. The 2-2. Off-speed pitch that's rolled over to short. Madera flips to Vanderbrake. What did I tell you? The error leads to a double play and Carolina gets off the field. It is oh so routine for those middle infielders, Jackson Vanderbrake and Alex Madera. 6-4-3. The inning is over. The Heels have turned 2 on 3 separate occasions, sending us to the stretch. 4-0 Carolina from Learfield.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Again, basketball camps are back, and young men who will be in 6th or 7th grade during the 2025-2026 school year can apply for a scholarship to their local electric cooperative to attend the UNC basketball school this June. Apply online at ncelectriccooperatives.com/sportscamps. North Carolina's electric cooperatives, building a brighter future for people and communities across the Tar Heel State. We are in the Tar Heel State for Carolina baseball. It's the Chapel Hill Regional. The Tar Heels, number 5 overall seed in the NCAA tournament. On familiar soil, hosting Holy Cross in the bottom of the 7th. 4-0. Carolina has a lead. And Kane Kepley at the plate to see Derek Voles for the first time today. The lefty's first pitch. Called a strike. Kepley put up kind of a timid bunt. 0-1 of the center fielder, who's 0 for 2 of the walk and 2 stolen bases. Tied for 4th with Chad Holbrook with 40 steals in a single season. The 0-1. Off speed, and even Kepley waited as long as he could. Still couldn't touch that, and it's 0-2.
No one's going right now in the Holy Cross bullpen, and I think the Crusaders will be happy if they can get Voles through the rest of this game and save all but 2 pitchers for tomorrow.
The 0-2 lingers inside 1-2, and to what Vols has done so far, 5 up and 5 down with 2 strikeouts. He's been as good as Coach Kahovic and the rest of the Holy Cross staff could have liked. Carolina, though, up 4-0 in the bottom of the 7th. Kepley awaits the 1-2, turns and mashes a ground ball behind first base, foul.
Something to note here weather-wise, I didn't see this earlier, but about 25 minutes ago I got an Alert Carolina notification that we have a tornado watch issued today at 1:39 p.m. until until 8 p.m. today in the Raleigh area.
The 1-2 to Kepley reaches out and bounces to second base. Jones charges in. He got the memo that Kepley can fly and sidearms a throw to first to get Kepley for the first out of the inning.
Another thing, too, is already a couple games in the Southeast have been delayed. The Clemson game, the Georgia game. Clemson game being played in Clemson, Georgia game in Athens.
I was talking with Toby Rowland, the esteemed play-by-play voice of the Oklahoma Sooners yesterday, and the subject of weather came up as the first pitch to Vanderbreak is outside 1-0. Told him, we got every game in without interruption last week in Durham. There's no way in the world that happens 2 weeks in a row this time of year in this part of the country. The 1-0. Vanderbreak got underneath it, lifts a fly ball into shallow left center field. And the shortstop, Jimmy King, reaches back over his head while backpedaling to record the second out of the inning. If King doesn't get that, LaFleur in left and Royer in center are nowhere to be found.
They're playing so deep.
2 up and 2 down. Vols has set down all 7 that he's faced. Here's Luke Stevenson, who's 0 for 3. Carolina 4, Holy Cross nothing in the bottom of the 7th. Nobody on.
Stevenson, the only Tar Heel who is yet to reach base.
Outside of Madera.
There you go.
First pitch. Rumbles across the inside corner. There's that blazing 75-mile-per-hour changeup to make it 0-1.
Hey, you joke. I don't think we could hit it.
With Vols velocity out there, it makes somebody like me think that I could go out there and do this too.
I'd love to see you try.
Well, I told you I threw BP to my kid the other day. I need about 5 days rest to come back.
Jake Knapp will be back on the mound before you.
He's down in the dugout right now.
Standing up, he's got his glove on. He looks like he's going back out there for the 8th.
0-1 fastball to Stevenson. That touches 89, and I'm not going to try to get my heater up to that. 1-1.
It's worth mentioning that against Florida State during his complete game, Coach Forbes was almost scared to take Jake Knapp out of the game, looked around the dugout and said, who's going to tell him?
A 1-1. Up and away from the lefty Stevenson. 2 balls and a strike. That's not the kind of news that I relish in delivering to somebody.
Yeah, no. Especially a guy of Jake Knapp's stature.
Just got such a likable, cool demeanor off the field, but he's all business on the mound. The 2-1. Stevenson hammers a high fly again, foul past the right field line. It's the second time he's directed one that way. The count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes to Carolina's catcher. 2 down in the bottom of the 7th, nobody on base. Carolina leads Holy Cross 4-0 in the Chapel Hill Regional's first game. Oklahoma and Nebraska to come in a few short hours, assuming this one gets over and done with in the next hour or so. The 2-2. Upstairs with a fastball, 3-2. Stevenson's no stranger to taking a free pass, leads the ACC in walks, 11th nationally, and 6th all-time in a single season in Carolina baseball history with 55. The payoff pitch. Slow grounder, but foul past first base.
I think he might have hit that off his leg. It sounded like it took maybe a second contact as it rolled down the first baseline, and he stood in the box wincing a little bit for a second or two afterwards.
Another payoff pitch from Vols to Stevenson, and that ends the inning. Strike 3 swinging. Third strikeout for Voles out of the pen. And he has retired all 8 Tar Heels that he's faced. 7 innings in the books from Boshamer Stadium. Carolina's 4-0 lead is safe into the 8th. Knapp back to work against the 8-9-1 hitters, Jones, Brown, and Egri. Do it for Holy Cross when we come back after this from Learfield.
If you're worried about your rights after suffering an injury, getting peace of mind is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Pick up your phone and dial 919 all fours, or go to lawyernc.com. We'll listen to your story and answer all of your questions during a stress-free discussion of your rights. Finally, if we feel like we can help, we'll offer you representation, and the best thing, it costs you absolutely nothing to learn more. We're ready for your call.
Hardison and Cochran, North Carolina personal injury attorneys, 919 all fours.
Hey Tar Heel fans, this is Dave Nathan, here to remind you that revenue generated from the sale of officially licensed Tar Heel merchandise directly supports both need and merit-based scholarships for Carolina students. Next time you're shopping for your favorite Tar Heel gear, make sure to look for the officially licensed collegiate product label before you buy. This ensures the product has been approved by the university. Be blue and true, buy licensed, fund scholarships, and go Heels.
Dave Nathan and Ben Mihaljevic spending a Friday afternoon with you from Chapel Hill and Boshamer Stadium. It's the NCAA tournament, the regionals, taking place downstairs on Bryson Field between Carolina and Holy Cross. The Tar Heels lead the Crusaders 4-0 into the 8th. And Jake Knapp, pitch count at 102. No cause for concern. Back on the bump and ready to deal against Brendan Jones, who's popped foul to short and taken a walk.
Knapp between innings gets back on the mound so quickly. It's almost like Coach Forbes doesn't have time to tell him that he's coming out of the game. Just figures, hey, if I run out here and I'm the first guy out here, he's not going to tell someone else to go to the mound.
Jones, a lefty at the plate. Looks at a fastball inside, 1-0. Second pitch. Strike on the outside corner. 1-1. Jones suffered through an 0-for-17 stretch that covered 6 games in April. His average dropped about 45 points. Next pitch looks like it was in the same spot, but it's called a ball, 2-1. Knapp sets to fire the next one to Jones, leading off the 8th. Swatted foul out of play, 2-2 to the second baseman.
Comes from an athletic family. His dad, Scott, played hockey at Salem State. His mom, Denise, a 2-sport athlete at Babson. She played field hockey and softball.
The 2-2. Upstairs, 3-2. And some of those hockey genes were passed down. The younger Jones scored 40 goals, had 48 assists during a 4-year hockey career back in the old Arlington, Massachusetts days. The payoff pitch to Jones. Tipped foul. Still 3-2. Ball ricochets back into fair territory up the first base line. Rescued by one of the Holy Cross players. I think that was C.J. Egri, who's due up later on this inning. The 3-2 from Knapp. Pounded in the sky to center field. Kepley reaches up. Gravity does its thing. It always does. And Jones retired for the first out of the 8th.
Big out for Knapp. It was Jones and then Brown that sort of started a little bit of momentum for Holy Cross back in the 6th. Jones walked and then Brown singled, but Knapp was able to work out of a bases-loaded jam.
Here's Colin Brown. 1 for 2 with a single. Takes a strike to begin his third plate appearance. 0-1. Knapp sends the next one. That's hit down the line towards right. Bass gives it chase, but it's into the Holy Cross bullpen. 0-2. 4-0 Carolina, our score. The Tar Heels got 3 runs in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, but since Voles has come out of the bullpen for Holy Cross, it's been 8 up and 8 down for the Tar Heels. The 0-2 to Brown. Chopped foul at the plate. Still 0-2 to the catcher. He missed a good bit of time this year. Almost all of March and all of April. His only home run this year came in the second game of the season. But he's bounced back to be the go-to guy behind the plate. The 0-2. Bouncer to third. Gallagher even with the bag. Shuffles the feet. Throws to first. And Brown retired 5-3 for the second out of the 8th. And the lineup turns over to Egri at the top of the order, who's walked, flied to center, and put down a sac bunt. Still 4-0 Carolina. Holy Cross needs to get up and go. Jake Knapp has allowed just 3 hits through 7 2/3. All 3 hits have been singles as Egri swings at the first pitch, grounds to the shortstop. Madera throws him out. The inning is over. Knapp's pitch count stays relatively low. Needed just 11 pitches to get through that inning. He's sitting on 113 for the game. Holy Cross 1-2-3 in the top of the 8th. Carolina has the 4, 5, and 6 hitters due up in the bottom of the frame. Most importantly, it is still 4-0 Carolina on a Friday in Chapel Hill at the NCAA Regionals from Learfield.
Comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
Heather and I had an argument just like any other couple. I was lost. I had snapped. I had a gun and I was going to take my own life. Heather helped me realize that there was still a life to live for the better of myself, my family. My weapon is now safely put away.
A moment of crisis can happen to anyone. Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
You say you'd never give in to a meltdown and never fill your feed with kid photos. You say you'd never put a pacifier in your mouth to clean it and never let them run wild through the grocery store. So when you say you'd never let them get into a car without you there, no, it can happen. 1 in 4 hot car deaths happen when a kid gets into an unlocked car and can't get out. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Dave Nathan, Ben Mihaljevic back here in Chapel Hill for Carolina baseball in the NCAA tournament. The Diamond Heels lead the Crusaders of Holy Cross 4-0. Into the home half of the 8th. Gavin Gallagher, Hunter Stokely, Alex Madera due up for Carolina. Take your hat off to Derek Voles. He has set down each and every Tar Heel hitter he's faced. And Gavin Gallagher, the last one to see Voles. He had an RBI single off of Danny Macchiarola all the way back in the 5th. That was Carolina's last hit. Voles' first pitch runs inside of the righty. A ball and no strikes to Gallagher, who's walked, tripled, scored, and driven in a run with a single. He's also stolen a base. I don't know if there's been a more active Tar Heel today than Gavin Gallagher. The 1-0. Slow changeup, missed outside, 2-0.
I think Gallagher won't, or his performance will be a little overshadowed by that of Jake Knapp, who has gone 8 innings, and who knows, we might see him come back out for the 9th.
The 2-0, outside 3-0.
How many
Big
times?
Jake casts a long shadow, not just literally, but figuratively as well.
Yeah, how many times this year has he overshadowed a great performance at the plate because he has been so dominant on the mound?
Oh, he's been the story. And the story with Knapp on the mound has ended well every time. The 3-0 outside, and Gallagher takes a walk. First issued by Voles, second one that Gavin's taken, and the Tar Heels have a base runner. I think Gavin's got a little something wrong with his helmet as he takes it off and wiggles one of the ear flaps. Might be loose.
Yeah, I think it's an extender piece there that is meant to protect his chin. That piece is loose. He was jostling it around a little bit, and now Sam Angelo delivers him a new helmet without that chin piece.
Gallagher heads down to first. Carolina's got a base runner for the first time since the 5th. And Hunter Stokely's at the plate, 1 for 3 with an RBI single and a run scored. Carolina may be looking for some insurance, up 4-0 in the bottom of the 8th. 1 on, nobody down. Voles from out of the stretch. Stokely hits the first pitch high with that backdrop of gray clouds overhead. The ball comes hurtling back down to earth. The left fielder LaFleur calls off the shortstop King on the grass in left center for the first out of the inning. Stokely retired. There are alternately very different and difficult times of day to catch those fly balls. Sometimes when the sun is setting, sometimes when there's that gray cloud cover, oftentimes in a domed environment. You don't ever want to take anything for granted with the ball in the air like that. Here's Madera. Shows bunt and pulls it back after the first pitch misses outside. 1-0. Ahmad's flied out, grounded out, and struck out. Voles K'd him back in the 5th. We are in the 8th. Carolina 4, Holy Cross nothing. Gallagher at first base after a leadoff walk. The 1-0. Above the letters, 2-0 to the Carolina shortstop. Madera last year in the regionals, 4 for 15, 2 runs, 3 RBIs. Again, none bigger than the one that beat LSU in the elimination game. The 2-0. Clip the outside corner with a slider, 2-1.
Voles doing the same thing in this at-bat that he did to Madera last at-bat, which is just try and paint that outside corner and force Madera to go the other way.
We'll wait on the 2-1. A throw over to first keeps Gallagher atop the bag. While the wind hasn't really picked up a lot here, Ben, you notice between innings the temperature feels like it's dropped a little bit. We're getting reports in Burlington that there's some heavy wind but no rain to speak of, as a second throw keeps Gallagher honest over at first base. Game time temps were sitting at 73 degrees and cloudy, and while things had jumped up close to 80 earlier, we're right back in the mid-70s currently. 2-1. Well, Gallagher takes off from first. The throw to first is late to second, and Gallagher stepped off the bag momentarily and is punched out. What a weird play where Gallagher took off. The pitcher threw to first. The throw to second was late, and then when Gallagher stepped off the bag, he was tagged out, and that's the second out of the inning. That's got to be a tough jog back over to the dugout, walking right by your head coach. 2 down in the inning.
Yeah, you hope Gallagher gets credited for a stolen base there because he had the bag. It was what happened afterwards that got him out.
Back to Madera, who sails the next pitch foul to make it 2-2.
What Gallagher did wrong is he thought the ball went into the outfield. That's fine, but you have to stay on the base while you check to see if it went into the outfield. You can't leave the base or else, well, we saw what would happen.
The 2-2 to Madera. That's popped up. Third base side. Peak on the warning surface finds the bricks, and the ball finds the seats. Still 2-2 to Madera. The way that Gallagher play is scored, caught stealing. 1-3-6. But I'm with you. Initially, he was safe. Just stepped off the base at the wrong time. That throw from first to second was so high, kind of don't blame him for giving it a glance, but you got to maintain your foot on the bag. 4-0 Heels with 2 down in the 8th, nobody on, and a 2-2 pitch from Voles to Madera. Inside, 3 balls and 2 strikes, the Heels shortstop. A walk puts Madera aboard, and that means everybody who was in the starting lineup would have reached today. Bass on deck. The payoff pitch. Well high, and Ahmad takes his walk. Second one of the inning by Voles. And Bass hit with the Tar Heels up 4-0 in the bottom of the 8th. Tyson hit into a fielder's choice to end the second. Had a 2 RBI double. Scored himself in that 3-run fourth. And then when he let off the 6th, grounded to short. And that's the thumbnail sketch of his day at the plate.
He's been much more confident at the plate than he has been in the past couple weeks. He has not been fooled by many pitches today.
The first pitch from Voles, high and away, 1-0. I was asked an interesting question before this series got started, and that's who is Carolina's unsung hero this year? And I thought to myself, well, there's just so many guys that have done so many things. I feel like they've all gotten their due as Voles throws over to first to keep Madera honest. And then I thought, you know what? If I have to be asked this point blank, I'm going to go with Tyson Bass just for the fact that the year got off to kind of a slow start, found his groove. He's been steady Eddie since April. There's another throw over to first base, and it's still 1-0 to Bass. I mean, is there an obvious answer to a question like that?
There's not an obvious answer. I mean, you have guys who don't get as much recognition, but then you think about it, and they still get recognition, so it's hard to call them unsung.
The 1-0, Bass knocks it foul to the screen.
The other one I was going to think of is Carter French, and even though he's not been in the lineup the whole year, you can argue that him being implemented into this lineup has been as important a change as any and as big a move as any that Coach Forbes has made.
Another throw to first. To be honest, it's really the only move that's been made this year. Carolina has had the luxury of going with infielders at the same spot every game. Kepley in center, Bass in right. It was left field and DH the question mark, says Madera takes off on a pitch that's high. The throw to second, also high. And Madera into second base with a steal. Ahmad's 12th on the season. He's only been caught once. And here's your situation again. 2 down in an inning. Speed in scoring position. A single likely adds to Carolina's tally, which currently sits at 4-0 in the 8th. Voles comes set, takes a sigh. Checks to second. 2-1 to Bass. Fooled him on a changeup, 2-2. Can you think back to a guy that's been this devastating with this little velo all year?
Not really, no. I mean, this is impressive.
The 2-2 from the lefty to the righty. Again, a changeup. That's knocked in the sky towards right, but foul. And what a catch. 4 rows up in the seats, reaching over the rail by a Carolina fan. Bare hand and all. Might see that one later on tonight. That's a heck of a play out there. Give that guy a glove.
Yeah, really. Maybe try him in left field next.
Well, from the look on his face, he's done it before. Voles 2-2 to Bass. Outside. 3-2. The payoff pitch. Bass, goodness gracious, tattoos a towering fly ball about 100 feet foul and left. Out of play, 3-2.
Good Lord. Carolina would be up maybe 10-0 in this game if some of these foul balls counted as home runs.
Another payoff pitch with Madera at second. Outside, and he lost him. That's the third walk of the inning for Voles. He lost Gallagher to begin the inning. Gavin was caught stealing. Stokely then flied out to left before Madera took a walk, stole second, and Bass gets the free pass, bringing Perry Hargett to the plate. And Holy Cross's pitching coach out to the mound. Voles, 53 pitches deep, having gone 3 1/3. He's not allowed a hit. He's kept this game at 4-0. Holy Cross is going to get another crack at it in the 9th with LaFleur, Belargian, and Royer. And if you're going to start somewhere, if you're Holy Cross, that's the place to start. Your 2, 3, and 4 hitters do up at the dish. And with Carolina's bullpen looking about as calm as you like out there, we up here in the booth have every reason to suspect that Jake Knapp is the guy to try to finish this game out in the 9th.
Absolutely. A couple games going on right now. We talked about the ECU-Florida game earlier. It was ECU at the first update. Now 10-2 East Carolina leading the Gators in the 2-3 game in the Conway Regional. The 2-3 game in the Knoxville Regional. Cincinnati up 8-3 over ACC foe Wake Forest. Cincinnati the 3 seed, Wake the 2 seed. No score in East Tennessee State and Louisville, and then Houston Christian and Texas just underway as well.
Mound meeting complete. First pitch to Perry Hargett. Fly ball to right center. Royer is back, and the inning is over. The Tar Heels go no runs, no hits, no errors in the field for Holy Cross. 2 left on base. 8 innings done from Chapel Hill. Jake Knapp to begin the 9th on the mound for Carolina against LaFleur, Belargin, and Royer for Holy Cross. It is a 4-0 Carolina lead. Start of the 9th on the way when we come back from Learfield.
Quality, affordable, dependable. The characteristics that have built the foundation for B&T Heating and Air Conditioning since opening its doors in 1988. B&T Heating and Air Conditioning is proud to serve communities across the Raleigh-Durham area from right here in Chapel Hill to anywhere in between. To schedule your heating, whole house generator, or electrical service or tune-up, visit their website at bntheatingandair.com. B&T Heating and Air Conditioning, generators and electrical. Family owned and doing it right the first time, every time.
On game day, there's nothing like tailgating, touchdowns, and Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Twisted Tea goes down smooth and tastes like real iced tea because it's made with real brewed tea. Cool, refreshing, and a 5% kick of alcohol. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Look for the bright yellow cans wherever you buy beer. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Carolina Baseball is presented all season long by Hardison and Cochran. Injured and have legal questions? Call Hardison and Cochran, 919-ALL-4s.
Carolina leads Holy Cross into the 9th. 4-0 our score. Jake Knapp has dazzled through the first 8 frames, scattering just 3 hits, all singles, and getting out of a bases-loaded jam in the 6th. Cloud cover continues to thicken. Who knows what kind of weather's on the way. We know this, just past 2:30. Carolina tries to close out Holy Cross and move to the winner's bracket as Knapp's first pitch sailed high to right center field by LaFleur. Kepley is underneath it, and there's one down in the 9th.
Gotta love first pitch outs as a pitcher, and the ground out from Egri to end the 8th was a first pitch out, and then a first pitch out here to start off the 9th for Jake Knapp, who is now at 115 pitches.
His next pitch will tie his season high of 116 against Wake Forest. Belargin at the plate, 0 for 3. A strikeout, a double play ball, and a flyout. First pitch changeup lands in the zone, and it's 0-1 to the righty Belargin.
McDuffie in the bullpen has a ball in his hand, but doesn't look to be doing anything too serious.
0-1. Fastball touches 92. Belargin, he can't touch it. And it's 0-2 to the first baseman. Tar Heels infield plays him straight up. Belargin wants to chat with his third base coach. It's the second time this tactic has been used as Knapp walks back towards second base. Knapp's already got a complete game this year. It came at Florida State in Game 1. It was the first complete game tossed by a Tar Heel since Brandon Schaefer in the ACC Baseball Championship in 2022 against the Virginia Tech Hokies.
Virginia Tech was the number 2 team in the country at that point.
Here's the 0-2. Knapp just missed the outside corner. Fans don't like it, but that's a fair call. 1-2 the count to Belargin with 1 down, and the base is clear in the 9th. Heels up 4-0 on Holy Cross. The next offering. Bouncing ball towards second. Madera dives, goes off his glove and into center field. It's a single for Belargin. And Holy Cross has a runner at first and will try to stay out of its 4th double play of the game with Royer due up. The cleanup hitter is struck out twice and flied out to right. Here comes Coach Forbes out of the dugout, clapping his hands as he steps over the third baseline. Might this be it for Knapp, who has been oh so good for oh so long. 8 1/3 innings, 119 pitches. And the move is made. Let's listen to this crowd salute one of their favorite sons. Knapp pitching in the postseason in the regionals for the second time, the first time here in Chapel Hill. And what a performance. 8 1/3, 4 hits, 7 strikeouts. And Carolina goes into its pen to find Walker McDuffie. This call to the pen, as they all are, sponsored by your trusted and local home repair company. That's Triangle Home Repair and Paint. Contact them today and get your honeydew list done now. As if facing Jake Knapp wasn't a stiff enough test for Holy Cross, you go to Walker McDuffie now. 25th appearance for the freshman out of Broadway, North Carolina. McDuffie 3-1 on the year, 6 saves, an ERA just over 3. Opponents hitting 176, 62 strikeouts, 19 walks, in 49 2/3 innings. I've told people for as long as I've spoken this year, if Carolina makes a deep run in the postseason, every baseball fan in the country is going to know the name Walker McDuffie.
Yeah, he's part of it is because of the way he looks. He's a younger guy. You mentioned a freshman, might still have a little bit of baby fat on him. He's got those big glasses, looking like the Wild Thing, but he comes into the game, he gets to work, and he straight up shoves. He has been awesome this year for Carolina, a team that struggled for a long time to find the true closer. Now at the end of the year knows it's Walker McDuffie.
Yeah, McDuffie, no doubt about it, the back-end guy for Carolina, especially with the way that Ryan Lynch pitched in the ACC title game against Clemson, getting his first career start, going a career-best 4 innings with 7 strikeouts. Lynch could be a guy that the Tar Heels go to in a starter's role if they need to as this event wears on. Again, Matthew Mateus, Kyle Percival injured midseason, so 2 of your most trusted and veteran bullpen guys for the last 2 years are not options. Carolina's pen has gotten young, but they are talented, they are strong, and they are good.
Yeah, the pen's gotten younger, but it hasn't lost any talent.
4-0, Carolina leads in the 9th. 1 down, Balarzian at first, Royer at the plate. Royer again 0 for 3 in today's matchup. McDuffie works from out of the stretch. Here's his first pitch. Backdoor slider over the inside corner, and it's quickly 0-1, Royer. Stokely holds the runner at first base. Vanderbrake plays close to second. The 0-1. Slider outside. It skips into the glove of Stevenson. 1-1. Oklahoma and Nebraska, the other 2 teams in Chapel Hill. Those 2 play later on this afternoon. Here's McDuffie's 1-1 to the righty. Royer lays off a pitch that was close. Called a ball. Must have been outside. 2-1.
I think it definitely was outside, and another case of Stevenson fooling his own crowd.
Balarzian off the bag at first. McDuffie comes set. Fires the 2-1. Stevenson frames that. Might have fooled the home plate umpire into calling that a strike. It's 2-2. Carolina 4, Holy Cross nothing. 1 down in the 9th. A runner at first. And McDuffie's 2-2 to Royer in an all-righty showdown. Low, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Royer stands back in from the right side. Balarzian off of first. Here's the payoff pitch. That's a 1-hopper to third. Gallagher turns to second for 1. The throw to first. In time. Carolina gets a 5-4-3, potentially game-ending double play. This, though, will be reviewed and will wait on the call from downstairs. Again, if it stands, it's the 4th double play Carolina's turn today. If it's overturned, we play on with a runner at first and 2 down. For as long as we've been on the field, for almost 2 hours and 45 minutes, we go to review with this game 1 out away potentially from going final.
Let's see if we get the review here on the scoreboard. Oh, yeah, we're going to get it. Let's see what we have. Oh, I don't know if he's out.
The ball off the bat of Royer wasn't hit extraordinarily hard.
I think he's going to be safe. Yeah, it looks like the foot's still on the bag as the ball is maybe a foot away from Stokely's glove.
Well, we haven't sent anything anywhere just yet, partner.
No, not yet.
We wait on the review. Again, if it's overturned, Royer is safe at first, and Jimmy King next up to the plate, 1 for 3 with a single. Carolina 4 and Holy Cross nothing. A lot of fans standing up, a lot of other fans making a move to get out of here before the skies potentially open up, and as the umpires come out of the review area, we await the call here that decides whether or not this game continues. And it does continue. So it goes down as a 5-4 fielder's choice. Balarzian out at second. Royer safe at first. 2 down in the 9th. And Jimmy King at the plate with Carolina trying to hold on to a 4-0 lead with a spot in the winner's bracket on the line. Royer leads off of first. Stokely holds the runner. McDuffie comes set from the bump. First pitch to King. Slider over the inside corner for a called strike. 0-1 to King. His base hit came in the 2nd. He struck out looking in the 5th, reached on an error in the 7th, won the 9th. Heels 4, Crusaders nothing. The 0-1. Outside. 1 ball and 1 strike, the count to King. Royer aboard for the first time today. He's stolen 24 bases this year, but you wouldn't think he's going anywhere with this game right on the line. The 1-1. Smack foul. And Holy Cross down to its final strike. 1-2 to the Crusaders shortstop.
Been interesting to see today that every time a pitcher's gotten to 2 strikes, Coach Jackson has come out of the dugout and changed his defense to adjust to how the batters might be changing with a 2-strike approach.
McDuffie comes set. The count 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jimmy King. The delivery. The game ender. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 on the elevated fastball. Send it into the winner's bracket. Carolina beats Holy Cross 4-0 and cements a spot against either Oklahoma or Nebraska in the 1-0 game tomorrow night here in Chapel Hill.
Really great performance today by Carolina. It is what we expected it would be, and that was the pitching staff all day just dominating, mainly Jake Knapp, and then McDuffie coming in, getting it done at the end. And how about the bats, just relying on the pitching staff to keep this game scoreless for as long as it took to get a couple runs across.
That's Carolina's 5th shutout on the season. The Heels' last shutout came in Game 3 of the Pitt Series, winning that 6-0. Today it is a 4-0 final over Holy Cross in the Chapel Hill Regional. The Crusaders playing for their season against either the Sooners or Huskers tomorrow in the early game. The Tar Heels get the luxury of some time off today and a long wait tomorrow. 1-0, taking a big step towards getting out of the regional and moving on in the postseason. 4-0, your final score. A lot of facts and figures to get to, and we come back after this. The Tar Heels beat the Crusaders in the NCAA tournament. 4-0 from Learfield.
Need to refresh your UNC gear? Visit the new off-campus Tar Heel Team store located at 120 East
Chip of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Cook's Pest Control, keeping your home and business safe from pests and termites since 1928. And by Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to